Welcome back to Talkin Shop, a pop culture podcast. We're your hosts, Eric and Greg.
Yeah, hey, how's it going, everybody? We're back for the third installment. And Eric, you son of a bitch.
What? What did I do?
After the show last week, Eric and I grabbed a pizza and we were scrolling for things to watch. We couldn't find the Doctor Strange movie.
Oh.
And Eric showed me a little movie called La La Land.
Oh,
And, well, Eric, tell him how my reaction was.
rightfully so. I made him very depressed. There you go. Yeah, La La Land's a good movie. This is a weird way to start a podcast about Marvel shit. But, La La Land's a really good musical.
I couldn't let this go.
It's super depressing, though.
Super depressing. Yeah, it ended, and even with many a preemptive warning, you're not going to like the ending. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it ended, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
And then 10 minutes later, I was openly sobbing on your couch.
Which is fair.
Mm.
That's exactly my reaction when I first saw it, when it came out. So
an addendum to last week when I said not a lot of movies made me cry. I'm going to have to add La La Land.
No, exactly.
And there's one other movie that actually made me cry last week that I forgot about.
Oh, boy.
The Kingsman, The Golden Circle.
Oh, when fucking Merlin's
Steps on the
Country
land,
Roads?
he sings Country Roads while on the landmine. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That one got me. That one got me.
I was gonna say, hey, speaking of movies based on comic books, let's talk about Marvel.
Yeah, we gave Batman and the DC a lot of love last week, so this week we're talking about their bitter rivals, the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. I was gonna say we should relegate it to strictly the MCU, but honestly, a lot of people have said everything there can be about the MCU, and a lot of people tend to shit on, the early Marvel stuff.
The thing about shitting on... you can shit on DC for a lot
Oh,
of
absolutely.
stuff.
They've made more bad movies than Marvel ever did.
The fact that Batman and Robin exist.
Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, Supergirl, Superman 3 and 4, Steel, with Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh my god, I forgot about that fucking movie.
Everyone did. It's better that people did.
I bet Shaquille forgot about that movie, or at
I
least
bet
he
he
tried.
didn't. I bet people bring that up as much as they bring up his cameo in Good Burger.
A movie that I like, but a lot of people shit on, Spawn.
Spawn is a pretty good adaptation of the early comics.
I think it's the fact of the, let's face it, the kind of crappy CGI it had.
It's, very dated CGI.
The script at times is a little cringy.
It's pretty cheesy.
And the Decimator, although I feel like he held...
The Violator?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Divilator, even though he held true to his comic roots, it's just really?
Yeah. No, a lot of people hated John Leguizamo for that and Super Mario Brothers, which...
I'm pretty sure John Leguizamo hated John Leguizamo for the Mario
absolutely.
Brothers. But yeah, you could dump on that movie, but
yeah, absolutely.
There's other people who like it, like myself and and you and Batman and Robin. It fucking sucks, but Batman's my favorite hero, so you just kind of got to take it with a grain of salt.
But no, Marvel has had an interesting track record pre and post MCU with their movies.
Yeah.
Because, if you think about it, the first, majorly successful theatrical Marvel movie was Blade.
Yeah.
A C-tier superhero that hunts vampires for a living.
It was...
That made fucking bank in 99.
Well, it was C-tier back in the day, but nowadays, if Blade...
Blade's not even A-tier now. At most, he's B, just because he got a lot of attention in Avengers.
Well, vampires are popular right now,
That's
Twilight,
true.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's... on paper, that sounds awesome. It's a fucking black vampire samurai who goes around killing vampires in downtown New York.
No, yeah, it's a super cool idea, and I haven't read any Blade comics, and pretty much the only exposure I have to the hero is in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, because there was a couple issues where Ben Urich, one of the reporters for the Daily Bugle, gets bitten by a vampire, so Morbius and Blade are trying to help out in their own way, and Spider-Man's like, what the fuck?
Dude.
I'm a teenager. Vampires shouldn't be a real thing. This is too much.
Dude, now that you brought him up, the movie for Morbius.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm pretty new to Spider-Man in terms of deep lore. I mean, I saw the Tobey Maguire trilogy.
The Andrew Garfield
I wish
stuff.
I didn't see number 3, but I did.
Number 3 has good merits. It's just that you can blame Avi Arad for incorporating Venom into a movie that was already pretty bloated.
Yeah.
And just making it worse.
I saw the Andrew Garfield duology. I wish I didn't. And I saw, of course, Tom Holland's 4 movies, all of which I love.
Best on-screen Spider-Man.
He's the best on-screen Spider-Man. Now, I'll give Tobey his due.
Here's the thing. Sam Raimi, like, you can tell that each person who's written a Spider-Man movie has grown up with a different era of Spider-Man.
Yes.
Because, like, Sam Raimi grew up with that, like, late Silver Age, early Bronze Age Spider-Man with all, like, the cheesy, campy dialogue and the silly stories and things like that. And, like, that's what he grew up with. So those movies being pretty cheesy is part of its charm.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
And also, he wasn't in or the only thing I really, really didn't like about it, he's supposed to be in high school, and he clearly...
he looks like he's in his 30s.
I'm like, dude, he's like 30. Come on.
Fucking Flash Thompson is played by Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
Who, until we hear otherwise, is still Deathstroke in the DC expanded universe.
Yo, Deathstroke, though.
Oh, God, he's so cool.
I hated Andrew Garfield's duology. One, Peter is supposed to be like a... Yeah, he's cocky as Spider-Man.
He's a wallflower.
But he's also a wallflower. He's awkward, and he can't talk to the girl. And
they turn him into cool skater dude.
He's the cool boy heartthrob who does the fucking duck lips and macks on Emma Stone way too hard.
Yeah, that's why Flash Thompson doesn't pick on him much in the first movie.
I know.
Because he's too attractive to be picked on for being a nerd.
Yeah, I know. And it just... as a relative new fan, it was... unfulfilling.
Andrew Garfield
for me.
as Spider-Man though is pretty good. That cocky like showboaty arrogance really works.
I really did enjoy the scene where he's like, "Oh no, tiny knives! my
1 weakness.
How did you know?" And then the cop shows up. He's like, "I do 80% of your job for you, and you put a gun at me."
I love when he webs the carjacker to the wall.
Yeah.
How he gets both of his hands and hits him in the nuts.
Yeah.
Like he shoots a little... Ow, your abs got a workout. They didn't get in a while.
No, I know. Yeah, so, fun story. This is being recorded on Sunday, so a few days ago. I ate something bad, and I spent most of the day projectile vomiting due to a stomach bug. And this is way too TMI, but I puked so hard that I actually, strained my abdomen. And so now every time I laugh, it legitimately hurts.
But no,
entertainment is pain.
Right, yeah.
So that's Andrew Garfield. I just don't... I could not... It had good parts.
It had really good parts.
But I could not get it.
Honestly, one of my favorite things about the second movie alone is the soundtrack. Because, I watched the bonus features for the second movie, and they go into really good detail about making Electro's theme. Because at the time, it was 2014.
Jamie Foxx was a really good Electro.
Oh, he was a great Electro.
He was
the only good cast villain in that fucking movie.
Hell yeah, he was.
Because, I'm not exactly in the best shape, but, even after taking that fucking serum and turning into the Green Goblin, I could probably still kick Dane DeHaan's ass.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Single-handedly.
Yeah. I don't have a six-pack either. I have a keg. But let me tell you, that Hobgoblin couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag.
No, fuck no.
And Tom Holland is incredible. I loved the first Spider-Man with Vulture.
Honestly, incorporating Vulture as the first main villain was a really solid choice.
It was. I mean, yeah, he's notable, but he's not the world-ending villain, you know?
I mean, he's Spider-Man's actual first villain.
He is.
In the comics.
Which is and then, the whole thing where Tony's if you can't do it without the suit, then you don't deserve the suit, and it's a great. And then the second movie was awesome, and can I just say, Jake Gyllenhaal's
as Mysterio
stole the fucking show for me.
I was so nervous to see him as Mysterio, because he's straight up, in my top 5 for Spider-Man villains. Like,
Yes.
I love Mysterio. So, like, I was really scared that he was just going to be a really bad pick for a really good character.
Yeah.
No, he fucking killed it.
He killed it, and it was rumored that on set he just enjoyed wearing the costume.
Oh, yeah,
so much
absolutely.
That he just wore it around. Like, he'd wear it to catering and shit.
Which is amazing.
All
But,
right. From any of the 3 Supermans, top 3 favorite villains.
Just from, like, all the movies? From
All-
all the Spider-Man
The
movies?
Maguire, the Garfield, and the Holland. Top 3.
Fuck. Okay, I
know my 3, so...
Fuck, that's really hard. None of the Andrew Garfield ones are on the list. Let me just put that there.
No.
Like, here's the thing. I like however the fuck you pronounce his name, the guy who played the Lizard. I actually like him as an actor, and I think he did a really good job as the Lizard.
No, sorry. That's like putting...
The villains are like the weakest part of that duology.
Yeah, that's like putting glitter on a turd and being like, oh, it's still good. No, it's not. Stop.
So, I guess top 3. Fuck.
I can tell you my 3 while you think about it, if that would help.
I'd say third is a tie between Vulture and Mysterio. Because
Okay.
they're both equally as good, and they both have that same vendetta against Tony Stark or the Avengers for, like, different reasons.
Okay.
And I think they're both played and written brilliantly. I think they're great.
Well, that's one of the things about Mysterio that I liked. It's like, you kind of sympathize with him.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to be evil. It's just like, you know, he's just the guy who had a good idea that Tony Stark, in his arrogance that we all know he has, just kind of shit on and, like, ignored.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, so I guess third best, Vulture and Mysterio, they're definitely tied. Second, fucking Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That dude killed that role.
Alfred Molina is such a good Doc Ock, and I love that, like, he's pretty old now, but he's gone on record saying if they ever put Doc Ock in another Spider-Man movie, he'd kill to play him again. And I'd be all for that.
I don't care if it's Holland. I don't care if they go the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness route where they get all 3 Spider-Man. I don't care. I know they teased it with Garfield and that whole thing went belly up, but there needs to be a Spider-Man versus Sinister Six movie.
At least once.
There has
Just
to be.
one. Because, like, they already have it kind of strategically set up right now, because, like, it's kind of a weak roster to the Sinister Six right now, but, like, the main surviving Spider-Man villains between both movies have been Vulture, Shocker, Scorpion, and Mysterio.
Yeah.
So, like, that's 4 characters right there.
Yeah.
So all you need is 2 more, and it'd be perfectly fine. But
Pull Rhino out of the sewer somewhere and
that'd be fine.
I mean, get Morbius in there. So that's
That'd be
3.
kind of interesting.
So that's 3 and 2. I feel like I know who your
Number
one
one's
is.
Sandman.
Oh fuck! I misread that.
I fucking love Sandman in Spider-Man 3. He's the best written character in that entire movie. And I really sympathize with his story and like what he does, and I still absolutely adore the scene where he reconfigures himself out of the sand.
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene to death, and it's so fucking beautiful.
He was definitely a bright spot in a pretty not bright movie.
Yeah.
Like
Oh god,
like,
yeah.
Honestly, they should have made Sandman like the main guy. And
Yeah,
absolutely. Technically they did.
Yeah.
But like just him.
The movie could have been much better focused if they didn't try to shoehorn in Venom for toy sales.
Yeah, they're just like, oh shit, this is the last.
'Cause it's like,
this
oh,
is the last movie. Get everybody in there.
It wouldn't have been the last movie if it had been reviewed a little better. Because did you ever hear what Sam Raimi's plan for Spider-Man 4 was?
No.
Black Cat,
Okay.
Mysterio, who's
Okay.
going to be played by Bruce Campbell.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
All those Bruce Campbell cameos. Yeah, that's Quentin Beck.
Oh god.
And the main villain was going to be the Vulture, played by John Malkovich.
Okay.
Yeah. That would have been really
not
cool.
awful.
That would have been so goddamn cool. But, you know, Spider-Man 3 bombed, so, like...
Yeah.
it's
also,
hard to really...
I mean, him going emo boy to, dancing down the street, and then, it's just, I'm sorry, no, I can't. It's just too much.
Here's the thing. I think there hasn't been a good interpretation of the black suit on screen, mostly because there's just been the one. On the big screen, at least. But in animation, the 90s Spider-Man cartoon adapted the black suit arc really, really well, and so did Spectacular Spider-Man. Spectacular Spider-Man did a really, really good job with the black suit arc, to the point that, like, when Peter has, like, his inner monologues when he has the black suit, you can hear his voice go from Peter Parker, like, oh god, Aunt May's in trouble, I gotta go help her. But then the black suit starts to, like, kind of seep in there and, like, corrupt him and make him a little more aggressive. So Josh Keaton, the voice actor for Spider-Man in that show, like, adds a bit more of, like a gruffness to his voice to be like, man, fuck the world. What did the world ever do to me? Like, like that kind of thing. And it worked really, really well. And that's... I don't think they're ever going to do that again in live action just because they know how badly it failed the first time.
They know how badly it failed the first time, and also, now more than ever, they're seriously appealing to kids.
Yeah.
And they,
So doing a really heavy story arc like the black suit can't take one movie. No. It cannot take one movie. It has to take at least two movies.
Yeah.
In order for it to be incorporated properly. So, like, the first movie, Spidey gets the black suit, and, like, he enjoys the power trip. He enjoys how much stronger he is, how much faster, and all that. Mm-hmm. But then, right near the end of the movie, he starts to realize that the suit's doing things on its own, using his body when he's not aware of it. Cool. And it reaches a head when he fights whatever the main villain of the first movie is, and he goes, oh shit, I gotta stop using the suit. Yeah. So, the second movie in the arc or whatever, like, he'll stop using the suit for a bit, but then, like, a new villain comes along that he needs the suit for, realizes that after he beats the villain, he's like, oh fuck, I can't do this anymore, and just, like, rips the suit off. So, like...
What if he, like, the first villain, he's like, okay, I can't do this anymore, and then, like, Carnage or something comes where he, like, needs to be, like, balls out.
See, this is why I hate that Sony has kept a lot of the Spider-Man shit separate in their own little Spider-Verse, they call it.
Yeah.
With Morbius and Venom and shit. Mm-hmm. Is that you're never going to be able to see that because, like, as far as we know, those two universes aren't connected.
Well, you just saw, Morbius.
There are Spider-Man wanted posters in Morbius.
Yeah, with killer spray painted on them.
So, like, that makes me a little excited.
And Vulture talks to Morbius. He's like, oh, what's up, Doc? And it's like, oh, shit. I didn't know about Morbius until, like, I want to say maybe a month after that trailer came out.
Oh, Morbius is a super cool character. I love him.
My buddy Josh, he's as into Spider-Man as you are. I mean, every game, every comic. And he sent me the trailer in one of our group chats. And I'm like, wait a second. You mean to tell me that one of Spider-Man's villains is a living vampire? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, how come nobody told me?
Yeah, so...
I thought, like, Green Goblin and, like, Shocker was it. And he goes, no!
Nah, man. Honestly, it's kind of funny that, straight up, like, a lot of people associate Kingpin with Daredevil. He started as a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so, real quick.
Yeah.
I noticed that, especially with, like, the characters Stan Lee made, which is most of them, but, Jack Kirby and all that. But Spider-Man.
Right.
Punisher.
Yep.
Who the fuck? Daredevil. They're all based in New York. How does New York have crime ever at all?
You know, that's a fun question to ask, and the best example I can give is that there aren't a lot of, like, street-level superheroes in New York beyond Spider-Man and the Defenders and Punisher, because a lot of them handle the more, like, world-ending threats, like the Avengers. Like, you don't see Tony going on patrols down the street in his Iron Man armor.
No, that's true, but there needs to be...
You don't exactly see Cap doing that, either.
Fuck Cap. There needs to be a creative cameo where, like, maybe it shows the Avengers in Infinity War fighting the alien ship or something, and there's a TV crews with shaking cameras, and playing on a TV in, like, the Punisher's apartment, and he's just watching it, like, smoking or something.
See, that makes me really excited for the third Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, because I want to find out more about that movie, and especially, like, who's the main villain going to be. There's supposed to be some kind of cameo from a Marvel hero who's supposed to be Spider-Man's lawyer. There's only 2 heroes that I can think of that could do that. Matt Murdock and She-Hulk.
Oh, God.
She-Hulk is getting her own TV show on Disney Plus soon.
Oh, man.
So, like, if it's her, fuck yeah. I love She-Hulk. She-Hulk's awesome. I want her to punch me in the face without remorse.
Oh, my God.
Fucking love She-Hulk.
Ow!
But having Matt Murdock in there would be really fun, because then you could have, like... You could have the main villain just be Punisher. Just have Punisher meet Spider-Man for the first time. So you bring in all the characters from the Netflix show. So you bring in fucking...
Spider-Man takes down guys with guns all the time, though. Like,
That's true.
I mean,
but
yeah.
not one is single-minded and driven as Frank Castle.
Why would Frank Castle ever want to take down Spidey, though? Like,
Yeah, I never actually read the comic, but the very first appearance of the Punisher was in an Amazing Spider-Man comic, where he was hired to kill Spider-Man.
That's interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? And, like, the only reason he doesn't do it is because he realizes that Spider-Man is just this totally pure and virtuous dude, and goes, no, you know what? You have my respect. I'm not gonna do that.
Not doing it, bro.
I'm not doing it.
Well, my top 3 Spider-Man villains.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Nah, that's cool.
And then we'll start talking more about the Marvel movies.
Number 3, Electro. I really liked Jamie Foxx's Electro.
That's fair.
Because he was just that dude who, like, had nobody, and
Yeah.
he finally felt like he mattered, and now Spider-Man's trying to make him not matter anymore. And it's like, you know what? Okay, I get you.
It's not so much that, it's that Electro had, like, these delusions because he was a very lonely man.
Yeah.
And, like, he just, like, made up this image of Spider-Man in his head from one encounter and realized that that just wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case.
And I think that's beautiful. I think that's really good.
What's the quote? Never meet your heroes?
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's a hero complex, kind of.
Yeah. Number 2 is actually Doc Ock for me as well.
Yeah.
Doc Ock just... Every so often you find a actor who's just born to play a role. You know, Hugh Jackman, born to play Wolverine.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
Robert Downey Jr., born to play Iron Man. Like, you just cannot cast...
You can't picture anybody else playing these characters.
I seriously feel like, he was meant to play Doc Ock. And Doc Ock was number 1 for a very, very long time, since the second Tobey Maguire
exactly.
movie. Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio.
No, that's totally fair.
He took number 1. He just snatched it. I mean, it was just beautiful.
Honestly, the one scene I keep going back to every time I think of Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio, and just how, like, good and, like, unhinged that character is when Peter's fighting all the drones in London, and he tells Edith to launch all the drones, and it's like, no, that's super dangerous, you shouldn't do that. And he just goes unhinged, he goes, launch all the drones now! And I'm like, oh!
They'll say what I want them to say! It's like, oh my god.
This is an Avengers level threat. Like, fuck.
And how he plays everybody. He plays Fury. He plays, he fucking
Which
plays
is like, because
Peter.
spoilers for Far From Home, Fury's not even Fury. Fury's a Skrull.
No, he's a Skrull. The real Fury's been, like, on vacation.
He's, like, super in space somewhere with the rest of the Skrulls.
Yeah. I thought he was on vacation in the in the simulated beach.
Well, he was, but, like...
He was. And
I'm dying to see what they do with the Skrulls in the MCU now. Like...
And that was also the first... well, not the first, because Doc Ock and Green Goblin, like, they died, but that's the first time that you see Tom Holland having to deal with, like, death, almost.
Because, like, here's the thing I liked about Homecoming, is that the writers straight up said that, like, everything you've seen in a Spider-Man movie has been done to death already. Uncle Ben's death, great power comes great responsibility, all that shit. So what they did is they gave Peter an Uncle Ben substitute, that being Tony. Which is fine. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And the whole message of with great power must also come great responsibility is put in the suit that Tony gives him.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole, if you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
That's
because that suit gave Peter, like, a bunch of power, but, like, he couldn't handle the responsibility of owning that suit. And so he had to prove himself.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'll take the easy way out and I'll give it to Mysterio.
Yeah.
And, then that whole story. But
yeah, because his responsibility and his grief is telling him, I'm not a good enough hero to be the next Iron Man. I should give it to this guy who has more experience.
The one that gets me is when they're in Italy and he looks and there's just like a giant beautiful
There's that big mural of Iron Man. And he said,
everywhere I go, I see his face. And what's John Favreau's character? Happy, that's it, thank you. And Happy at the end is like, Tony had no confidence whatsoever. Yeah. He triple thought everything he did. He asked me what I thought. He asked Piper what she thought.
But at the end of the day, he's still a hero.
Yeah. And R.I.P. Iron Man.
I think it's beautiful that Far From Home actually ended Phase 3.
Yeah.
Like, that is a good note to end Phase 3 on, to give way to the next generation of Marvel movies.
I love the way they ended it, but I could come up with a super easy way that Peter could just have one of the Krolls morph into him and be like, yeah, I don't know why they would. and then have Peter as Spider-Man swing in the background, and it's like, I don't know why they would.
Did I ever tell you how they retconned Peter, like, unmasking himself to the world in Civil War in the comics?
No.
So, after Civil War, Peter became a fugitive because he realized that Iron Man was in the wrong in that argument and joined Cap's side.
Traitor.
No. There are no heroes in Civil War. Both Civil War books, everybody's a fucking villain because they're
just my blatant hatred for Cap makes me.
Fair. But so after the events of Civil War, Aunt May gets shot by an assassin who was trying to kill Peter. And in a mad grab to, like, figure out if somebody can save her, he goes to, like, everybody. He takes a wild fucking chance and tries to go to Tony peacefully and goes, hey, I know we left on bad terms, but my family's in danger. I need you to save my aunt. And he's like, no, you're a fugitive. Get the fuck out of my building or I'm going to take you in by force.
Oh my god.
Because Tony's the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the end of Civil War.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's brutal. So, like, he goes to Tony. That fails. He goes to Doctor Strange. That fails. He goes to Doctor Doom.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah, he goes to everybody that he can possibly think of, and they all tell him, no, dude, just let her die. And here's where it gets really fucked, because here's the thing. I like Jan Michael Straczynski, the guy who wrote Amazing Spider-Man for a good chunk of the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. I love his work. But the president of Marvel at the time told him that at the end of his run, no matter how it happened, he had to break up Peter and MJ because he didn't like them being together. He never did. So you know what he did? J. Michael Straczynski wrote One More Day. That fucking comic is one I refuse to read, and I will never endorse it. Because in order to save Aunt May, he makes a bargain with Mephisto.
Oh, God.
And Mephisto's like, I don't want your soul, because taking souls has gotten boring to me. You know what I want instead? I want the memory of your marriage to MJ. You both are going to forget you were ever married, and your life as you know it is going to cease to exist. You're going to start right back at square one. And that's how they save Aunt May.
Dude, sorry, Aunt May, you had a good run. But
yeah,
no.
Right, exactly. No, I fucking hate that. I feel like it would have been a much better shakeup if Peter just tried and failed to save Aunt May. But after that, he has a new lease on life, but he's also still a fugitive. So he goes to Doctor Strange again. And Doctor Strange, with the help of some other magic users, places an enchantment on the entire world that makes everybody forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man unless he willingly unmasks himself in front of people. And he's only done that to a select few people. He's done it to the Fantastic Four, because they are the second closest thing to a family he has. He's done it to Black Cat, MJ, obviously. A good chunk of the girlfriends he had after MJ. And J. Jonah Jameson. JJ actually becomes like his help now. Like,
J. Jonah Jameson.
he will straight up call Peter at the most inconvenient moments and go, "Yo, Rhino's on the fucking streets. You gotta go stop him." And he's like, "Dude, JJ, I can't. I'm in a fucking meeting, man." Like,
okay, so remember a little while ago when I said there are certain people just born to play certain roles? I can't remember his name at the moment, but the guy who plays J. Jonah Jameson.
J.K. Simmons?
J.K. Simmons is born to play J. Jonah Jameson.
He's so good. I love him.
In the games, in the movies.
There was actually...
So I, not to cut you off, but because I didn't see the movie, I do have some questions. Because I get the feeling that if I knew a bit more about Doctor Strange, he would be one of my favorite heroes. Because
he's a really good hero.
My mom hates him because he's a douchebag, but I am fully aware that he's a douchebag,
right.
And the clips of the movie that I have seen look really interesting. He's not the only time sorcerer on Earth. He's actually one of many.
Well, see, that's the thing about the big difference from the movies and the comics, is that in the movie... One of his biggest strengths is using the Time Stone to manipulate.
Because he was a legit, surgeon doctor, right? Yeah, Hugo Strange, he was a doctor.
Well, Stephen Strange.
Stephen, I thought it was... Why do I keep thinking it's Hugo?
Because that's a Batman character.
Sorry. Yes, Stephen Strange.
There's two Doctor Stranges in DC and Marvel, and one of them is better than the other one.
I'm a DC slut, forgive me. So, Stephen Strange.
Yeah, so Stephen Strange was this world-renowned surgeon. He had gifted hands and all that shit.
Photographic memory.
He was exceptionally skilled, and his hubris ended up getting the better of him, and he got into a massive accident that resulted in the loss of a lot of feeling and movement in his fingers. It's like he tries to go to everybody for help. He goes to some of the world's best doctors and neurosurgeons and all that shit. None of them managed to be able to help him. So his last-ditch effort is to go to this mystical Tibetan monastery.
Oh my god.
And he learns the secrets of magic.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty much his whole story. And, he adopts the Sorcerer Supreme role almost instantly. And he's really fucking good at being the Sorcerer Supreme.
No.
Except for, a few years ago when he lost most of his ability to use magic. So he had to rediscover magic by going on a voyage through space.
Wow.
He learned space magic.
No.
That shit was so good. He rewrote the universe at one point.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Well, that's why I love the comics, because especially in the comics is when they do their freaky shit.
Oh yeah.
The
shit you'll never see in a movie.
It's in the comics where the Flash is I think in nanoseconds.
Faster than that.
Yeah,
he thinks in I think it's attoseconds, which is 1,000th of a second.
Somebody
or 10,000.
Somebody did the math and they said if you broke down an attosecond and you stretched it to if you took an attosecond and you combined enough of them where it became a day, it would take you 100 years to blink. That's how fast the Flash thinks. And then they're Stephen Strange, once when he was trying to stop Nightmare, he individually absorbed the nightmares of all 7 billion people on Earth, and he was relatively okay. And then, the Flash, who... We already talked about the Flash, forgive me.
honestly, there's a lot of cool things that Barry Allen and Wally West have both done.
Because people are he's fast. It's well, he's not just fast.
Well, it's not that. He's also incredibly smart. There was one point where, a whole, neighborhood of apartment buildings, burnt down or something. Yeah. So he figured out what was going on, went to a local library, learned everything he could about architecture, and rebuilt an entire apartment block in, 10 minutes.
Yeah, he can read a book literally in the comic or in the movies where the guy just he he's like, yep, got it. He can actually do that.
Yeah, so can Superman. Superman can do that too.
Fuck Superman.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, no, don't you whatever me. I have a legitimate fucking gripe against Superman. Okay, everything that I hate about Cap goes triple for Superman. And yes, we're on DC now for this tangent. Forgive me, but this needs to be said for the masses. Superman. 1, pick a fucking story and stick to it. 2, you can't...
Wait, what do you mean by that? Pick a story?
They just keep fucking changing his shit. Like,
well, it's because comics keep changing, man.
Yeah.
Every couple of years, they just reboot the universe because they realize, oh god, this just got too complex for new readers. Let's fucking reboot it.
Yeah, you know how many times Batman's had his shit redone? Maybe 2 or 3 times, and that was in alternate universes. Yeah, his parents died, and he's sad. That's it. That's all you need.
I mean, that's pretty much Superman's whole story, too. Krypton blew up. It's just they change how Krypton blew up every once in a while.
Okay, 2.
And they add new revelations.
2, you can't have... Your power can't be, I have every power. That's not how it works.
That's Golden Age Superman. Modern Superman has a much more limited power set.
You're right. He only has most of them.
It's still pretty powerful, but
super
it's limited.
Speed, super hearing, super everything.
Super strength. He can see... His eyes have such acute vision senses that he can see multiple wavelengths.
Yeah, he can see for miles. He can hear every heartbeat on Earth, and he can determine which one is whose.
He actually always keeps a beat on 2 heartbeats, Lois and Lex.
Yeah.
He always keeps a beat on them, which is great.
He also knows Bruce Wayne's. He has
Bruce's too.
Ice breath, laser beams. He can fucking... He took a nuke to the chin, and he was like, ow.
Yeah.
Apart from magic and Krypton, he's fucking invulnerable. You cannot defeat him. Yes?
Supersonic pitches. His ears are... His super hearing is so acute that if you play a certain pitch at a certain variable, it could deafen him.
Okay, so incredibly rare and not very common things. It's like, dude, fuck you, okay?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is that, yeah, Superman's got, like, a busted-ass power set and all that shit, but...
I can't tell you.
He doesn't use it to his advantage all the time. He likes to, like...
I can't tell you how much joy it brings me every time Batman beats his ass. I can't... Not just because I love Batman, but because I hate I don't like... I like Superman losing more than I like Batman winning.
And see, here's the thing. I like to say, like, I'm a newer Superman fan, mostly because I really like Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he does fine with the character for what he's given. But to be fair, most of the Superman stories I've read have been alternate universe takes on the character that are more or less deconstructions of the character.
Red Sun.
Like, Red Sun's really good. That one's fucking great. All-Star Superman, which embraces that, like, cheesy comic bookiness of the Silver and Bronze Age, but tells a really compelling story about Superman's last days on Earth because he's fucking dying.
Good.
All-Star Superman is great. Superman Red Sun, great. Superman's Secret Identity by Kurt Busiek. That one's fucking stellar because it's not even comic book Superman. It takes place in an alternate universe that's supposed to be the real world. This is a boy named Clark Kent who grows up in a small town in Kansas, but there's no Smallville because this is the real world. One day he wakes up and he's like, holy shit, I have Superman's powers, what the hell? So he has to, like, learn to become Superman without any sort of, like, prior knowledge of the character because he fucking hates Superman because everyone picks on him because he's named Clark Kent. Everybody fucking hates him for it. And, like, he hates himself for it, and it's great. That one's really good.
I hate him, too.
Tom King. I'm gonna suck his dick again, because I love Tom King, and I love his work. He's amazing. He wrote a Superman miniseries last year called Superman Up in the Sky. It's a really simple premise. Fucking alien race comes down to Earth, kills this random family in Metropolis, kidnaps a little girl that was in a foster home. Superman goes about his daily life, but all the while he's just thinking, like, holy shit, I gotta go save that girl. This has been bugging me for, like, days now. And everyone's telling him, no, we need you here. You're our line of defense against, like, dark side and shit. And he's like, I know, but I gotta go save her. And like every issue plays with a different concept of Superman as a character. Like a lot of them just deal with the fact that he just has this like indomitable will. There's one issue where he's fighting this super mercenary or something in a boxing match. The only powers they're allowed to use is their super strength. And that's it. He goes 10 rounds with this motherfucker and gets beaten to a fucking pulp. And the dude even straight up tells him, dude, just stay down. Why the fuck do you keep getting back up? And he's like, because I'm goddamn Superman and I am going to go save that girl. And he's like, fuck, I give up. Alright, I cannot beat this guy. He's just gonna keep going until he dies. I don't want that on my conscience.
because unless you have magic or a hunk of his home planet, you can't.
Or you can match his strength. Darkseid, Doomsday, Brainiac.
So there are two Superman...
Mongol.
There are two Superman-related things that... One's a stretch, but there are two Superman-related things that I do not hate the second I see them. One, Brightburn, which I've told you about.
Right.
If it was a movie a little while ago, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, instead of becoming a superhero, a plane or a ship lands in Kansas.
Yeah.
A couple who are struggling to struggling to have children adopt the baby, raise him to be normal, and instead of becoming a superhero, he turns into a murderous psychopath.
Right. Oh, hi Fizzy.
Which it's beautiful. I love it. Two, I don't remember what it was from. It was only like a 5-minute clip, but it's when Superman is fighting Darkseid.
Right.
And Darkseid is, giving him the wet work. He's feeding it to him.
Yeah.
And Superman, he like punches him through a bus or something. And Superman stands up and he's totally calm and collected. And he goes, I live in a world that basically is made out of cardboard, where I'm so strong that if I don't keep a constant lid on myself, I could seriously injure somebody or worse.
Yeah.
But you can take it, can't you? He's like, so, this is a chance for me to cut loose and really show you what I can do.
Yeah.
And he flies at him and he punches Darkseid so hard that reality warps for a second. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, Superman has, honestly, it really all depends on who's writing the Superman stories that makes Superman a really good character. Because I'm going to be honest, I started really reading Superman comics with Rebirth, with Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason's run on the character. It was like 8 volumes, and it's about, okay, so here's where it gets complicated because comic books. So, during the events of the end of the New 52 leading into Rebirth, there was a point where the multiverse just kind of like started collapsing in on itself a little bit, and an alternate universe version of the pre-52 Superman and Lois end up coming to Earth. They take on new identities and they start raising their son in secret, like just taking on new identities and like trying to keep the world safe without anybody figuring out that they're there. And by the end of the New 52, there was like a short miniseries called The Last Days of Superman, which is the New 52 one. And at the end of that book, the New 52 Superman dies.
Good.
So the pre-52 alternate universe Superman with his son and Lois and all that takes on the mantle of Superman in this new world that he's not familiar with, because like all of his friends are there, all the people he's familiar with are there, but they are completely different from what he remembers them to be. So he has to learn to acclimate to this new world in ways that he's never had to deal with before, and at the same time he's still also trying to teach his son how to be a superhero because he started developing his powers. So like he has to juggle all these things at once that are completely foreign to him. and he does a really good job of it. And then the other one is Brian Michael Bendis' current Superman run, actually. That one's really good. I love that one. He revealed himself to the world recently, like his secret identity and everything.
He's like, I'm Superman, I'm Clark Kent.
My name's Clark Kent. I was born on Krypton. I came to Smallville, Kansas in a ship. I am a member of Earth, but I am not from Earth.
Yeah.
I am Superman, but that's not who I really am.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not of Earth, but Earth is my home.
Earth is my home. I live with my mom and pa out in Smallville, Kansas, and I've been Superman pretty much since the day I was born, but that's not who I am. And I think that's fucking stellar.
Yeah.
But that's enough of a DC tangent. We should get back to Marvel shit.
Yeah, DC had its moments. I'm just a DC slut.
I mean, that's fair. But, like...
So, just kind of doubling back to Doctor Strange.
Right.
Is he inherently immortal? Like, unless something kills him, will he die of age? Because he can control time.
You know, that's a complicated question, because...
Because he can control time. Like...
He can...
Technically, he could just reverse... Because when Thanos had the Time Stone, he reversed just Vision.
See,
so...
I don't know too much about... Well, because, like, in the movie...
Who's the bald woman that...
That's the Ancient One.
And the Ancient One was several hundred years old at least.
Because she was taking energy from the Dark Dimension, which she wasn't supposed to do.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how she managed to live so long. She wasn't evil, but she tapped into evil energies to keep her life expanded. Okay, so, funny thing about Tilda Swinton playing the Ancient One. Love Tilda Swinton. She's a great actress.
Great actress.
But... I remember when she was first cast, a bunch of fucking neckbeard fanboys were like, "Oh, why is a woman playing the Ancient One? He should be this ancient old Tibetan monk dude." And I'm like, Doctor Strange was written in the 70s when it was okay to still do, like, racist Asian caricatures.
Yeah.
Do you really want that, or do you want a good actor to portray this character in a way that won't sully the memory of this character?
Let me say
that
this.
That means nothing.
Let me say this loudly for the people in the back. As two neckbeards who are incredibly passionate about Marvel, DC, everything.
Yeah.
Like, we are the epitome of nerd comic book owners.
That's why we made this podcast.
We have posters of that shit on our wall. We live it, we breathe it, we shit it. I do not give the slightest fuck what a character's gender is, what they look like, as long as they can act passionately, play the role that they're supposed to.
I only care about that with certain characters. Minor characters like the Ancient One, I don't give a shit about. But if, like, let's say suddenly they add Miles Morales into the MCU and he's played by a white kid.
Miles is supposed to be...
He's supposed to be Afro-Hispanic.
I understand that
he's half black, half Hispanic.
I understand that some characters are meant to be played by certain races.
Yeah.
And I saw some bullshit the other day.
Main characters should not be changed.
Where they said, "Oh, Miles or Spider-Man's black now." That's racist. Or it's like, okay, first of all, sit down. Second of all, no. Third of all, I saw some shit the other day, and you can definitely tell it's... Okay. I'm going to say something a little controversial.
Alright.
Blatant ignorance and just uneducated, I think, are very different.
Yeah.
Like, I saw a post the other day that said...
Like, saying
that Black Panther was the first real African-American superhero. And I'm like, Spawn!
Well, are they talking about, like, in comics in general, or just in cinema?
I think they meant in cinema.
Yeah, because before that you had, Steel,
Blade, Spawn.
Yeah, what's even better is the
It's
people
like,
who aren't aware that Blade even exists as a movie franchise, because they're like, oh, Deadpool's the first R-rated Marvel movie to make fucking bank at the box office. So it's like, no, it's not, motherfucker.
No, it's not.
Blade made fucking bank almost 20 years ago.
Wesley Snipes is gonna show up at your house and backhand your ass. Like,
some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill. That's the motherfuckers he was talking about.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah.
And
okay, so like, yeah, Black Panther, not even the first black hero on screen.
No.
Which, not even in the MCU either, because guess who was before him? Falcon.
Yeah.
Fucking, and Rhodey.
They've been around
Rhodey
a while.
was before Falcon.
They've been around a while. And yeah,
like,
it's
you can't
just...
even say that. You can't say that he was the first successful black superhero character on screen either, because guess what? Fucking Blade.
Yeah. It's just, I don't...
Like,
if somebody genuinely is, like, uneducated on a subject, I'll be more than happy to educate them if it's within my ability.
Yeah.
But people who are ignorant to a certain degree, it's like, oh my god, just...
You know, exactly. It's like, a lot of people, even to this day, still hate a lot of the... What Marvel tends to call the legacy characters, these newcomers that, like, take on an old mantle of a hero of some kind. Like, when Brian Michael Bendis wrote Ultimate Spider-Man back in the 2000s, he made a really risky decision to kill Peter Parker. And he replaced him with Miles Morales in the Ultimate Universe. Because guess what? The Ultimate Universe was all about taking risks. A lot of them failed. You know, like, Ultimatum.
I just saw the PTSD in your eyes.
Yeah, I never ever want to read a story again where Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are not only maybe Wolverine's kids, but also have an incestuous relationship with each other.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's gross. Let's see. What else is wrong about Ultimatum? Oh yeah, they switched writers, I think, in the second volume of this 3-volume arc.
That's something I can't fucking stand.
A lot of characters die in those books.
Okay, so you know what they do that I just cannot stand. So whether it's Robert Downey Jr. or Hugh Jackman or whoever is playing a character for a certain amount of movies,
right,
they sign a contract, stating unless the people
it's either a certain like time frame, which can be indefinite, or it can be like a certain amount of movies. Yeah,
they are literally binded to that contract unless the people who wrote the contract break it. That's how it works. They need to do the same fucking thing with writers and directors. Because
absolutely.
After J.J. Abrams, again, tangent, but forgive me, needs to be said.
Oh, this is about Star Wars now?
When they did The Force Awakens with J.J. Abrams, I liked it. I thought it was a good movie.
Force Awakens is a pretty good movie.
Not the best, not the worst. It was kind of middle of the road as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
I didn't hate it.
I mean, that's what we talked about in the first episode of this podcast.
Yeah, callback. Then they switched to J.J. Abrams.
Well, they had Rian Johnson in last year.
I'm sorry, Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
They had Rian Johnson do that fucking abortion they call The Last Jedi. Don't even get me started.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go on this rant.
Thank you. Thank you for my
we already talked about
Thank you for my mental health. And then, after that bombed worse than Pearl Harbor, what did they do? They went back to J.J. Abrams!
Not only did they go back to J.J., they also told him, no, you gotta backpedal all this shit and write a completely new entry to this trilogy to make fans happy.
I want them to do that with a book. I want somebody to write a murder mystery, write the first third of a book, and then give it to an author who has no idea about the subject and go, all right, write the rest of it. And they're like, who did it? I don't know. You
or
tell
can be
me.
worse. Like, a really good example is Dune. So Frank Herbert had a huge plan for the Dune universe. Like, he had books upon books upon books upon books upon books of ideas. And he wasn't able to write them all because he died.
Yeah.
So what happened? His son found all of his old notes, collaborated with another writer, and is still writing Dune novels to this day.
Good on him.
If Frank Herbert didn't have those notebooks upon notebooks of shit, and his son just decided to expand the universe, it could be a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But luckily...
Clive Cussler's children are doing the same thing. Clive Cussler. Did you see the movie Sahara with Matthew McConaughey?
I did not.
Okay, well, that's one of his more well-known books. He passed away a couple years ago, and his son, again, found notes and notes and notes of books, and he didn't know how to write worth dick, so he called his father's author friends, because authors all know each other, apparently.
Absolutely.
And they said, hey, I found a bunch of my dad's footnotes. Would you like to write a book? We'll obviously accredit you, but we'll also accredit my father. And he
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
And, you know, if you can do it, great. But I'm talking no footnotes.
Yeah.
No anything.
Well,
just give me the first third of a book.
I was going to say, that's the biggest flaw with the new Star Wars trilogy, is that they went in with no plan. They just said, okay, we're making a new trilogy.
Yeah.
That was it. They didn't have any, like, overarching plan. They didn't have any process in it. They just said, hey, JJ, you want to write a Star Wars movie?
Here's a wheelbarrow full of money.
Yeah. Here's a dump truck full of money. Do you want us to just park it in front of your house?
Yeah, and then they kicked him out, brought Rian Johnson in. That
Rian Johnson's a really good writer and director, though. I saw Knives Out, like, maybe a couple months after Last Jedi. It was fucking great. Knives Out was amazing.
I will not critique his entire career on one movie. That wouldn't be fair. But I will say for that one movie, fucking terrible. I hate it. I hope he gets strung up by his toes. Then they went crawling back to J.J. Abrams and like, J.J., we're sorry.
JJ, the fans aren't happy. We gotta make him happy, man.
They're so mad at the Asian lady. We don't know what she did. And then JJ said, okay, you simps, I'll come back and try and scrounge out this burnt fucking husk of a franchise.
This gross old grease trap in the
Vader was less burnt than this movie. Ugh.
But yeah, like getting back on the idea of like these new legacy characters that Marvel's made over the last few years.
Yes.
I've been a Miles Morales fanboy day fucking one since I started reading his comics back when he was still in the Ultimate Universe.
The more I read of him, I like him more.
I have been a Miles fanboy since day one. I fucking love him. After that, I started...
How it was his dad who died instead of his uncle? And...
No, in the original Ultimate Comics, his uncle dies first.
Oh.
And then his mom dies when Venom hunts him down. Because he's like, oh shit, there's another Spider-Man. I'm gonna kill that kid. So, here's the thing. Venom doesn't even kill his mom. You know what kills his mom? A stray fucking bullet from a cop.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Oh, it's so fucking good. But I love Miles Morales. I think he's a great character, and I think he's only gotten better since he was introduced.
I still haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse.
I think I know what we're doing after this.
Oh my god.
But I love him. Kamala Khan, the new Ms. Marvel. Carol Danvers hasn't been Ms. Marvel since 2009 when she adopted the Captain Marvel moniker from her old mentor. She's been Captain Marvel for over a decade now. People had a problem with Kamala because she was a lot of people hated it because she's Pakistani American. A lot of people hated her for that. But also, they just don't like the idea of shoehorning in a new character to fill a legacy role. But here's the thing. Kamala's still a really good character because she doesn't even care about, what race she is. She has a really good connection with her family. She loves her friends. She idolizes the Avengers.
Okay, so...
One day she sneaks off to a party. The Terrigen mist that turns people into Inhumans sweeps over New York. She gets trapped in a cocoon. She comes out as an Inhuman and goes... I'm going to be a superhero. That's her whole origin story is I snuck out to a party, got turned into an Inhuman, and now I'm going to model myself after my fucking idol, Captain Marvel. Fucking awesome. Great.
So remember a little while ago when I said we don't give a shit generally what color or gender or whatever, as long as somebody plays the role well that they're supposed to. I know I just said I haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse, and that's true, but I've seen clips.
Right.
The fact that it's a woman Doc Ock.
Oh, I love her. She's great.
Cool. Is she a good Doc Ock? Then I don't care.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's the thing I love. And here's the thing. So Mark Waid.
That fucking Donald Glover joke where he's like, make Michael Cera Shaft.
I'm still waiting for that.
I'm still waiting for Michael Cera's
Shaft. But no, fucking... What was I going on about? So, there's
you're going on about Miss Carol.
There's an old team of Marvel heroes that didn't have a name to themselves for decades, and that was called The Champions.
Okay.
Mark Waid, who is a fantastic writer, he's written everything from, he's currently writing Doctor Strange, which is a really good run. He helped reboot Archie back in 2015, which is also great. He's had a massive hand in Marvel, DC, Archie, Image, like everything. He's had his hand in every fucking pie. He wrote All New, All Different Avengers and The Champions. The Champions, when they rebooted the team, was a team of characters who took on the legacy of their mentors in some way. So this team is Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, Amadeus Cho, who took on the Hulk moniker after taking all of the Hulk power for himself to save Bruce Banner. Vision's daughter Viv, which also heavily recommend reading The Vision by Tom King. 12-issue miniseries. They're basing WandaVision on Disney Plus after it. Whoa. So, like, I'm really excited for that. But let's, it's Miles, Kamala, Amadeus, Viv, the younger, time-displaced version of Cyclops that was specifically brought into the future to try and talk down his older self from becoming essentially mutant Hitler, and failed. Let's see, Nadia Pym, who's Hank Pym's half-daughter, she takes on the Wasp moniker. And Sam Ryder, who's Alex Ryder's son, he's the new Nova. Oh my god. Like, this is a fucking stellar team, and it's all a bunch of teenagers who are still trying to figure out how to be superheroes and make their mentors proud of them. And I think it's fucking great. If we could get a Champions movie at some point, I would kill for that. That would be fucking awesome, and I'd love it, and it would be so good.
You know, I love the passion, and I love the genuine connection you have to the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But holy shit, you're like a class S plus guy, and I'm like maybe a B minus.
Well, let me put it this way. Physically and digitally, I own just about 700 volumes of comics.
Yeah, you're
about 75% of those is Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, holy shit, I eat, sleep, and breathe Marvel.
It's funny that you're like a massive Marvel guy, and I'm a massive DC guy.
Yeah.
And we don't hate each other.
No!
Because, holy shit, have you seen those flame wars online?
Like, that's the thing I don't understand. It's like, comics are comics, guys. Like, you're not supposed to hate each other because you like one hero or the other. Like, I fucking hate Captain America. I don't hate Marvel just for him. Deadpool? I love Deadpool to a T. Spider-Man's awesome. I'm really starting to go into Doctor Strange the most I can. Right.
You know, the Hulk. I owned that shitty 2006 Hulk movie. I mean, it was, you know, I was like, what the fuck is this? But it was Hulk.
Yeah, no, same. Like, here's the thing. I've read, thanks to the internet, which is a great place if you want to start getting into reading comics.
It is.
And some of my friends, especially some of my friends at work who are also into comics, I started reading really good stories for characters I didn't think I could ever truly like. Like, I've only read one Hulk arc so far. It's called The Immortal Hulk. It is a fucking horror story. It is so goddamn terrifying. And I love it. It's so good. Like, I started reading Captain Marvel after, like, just before I went to go see the movie, which I'm not getting into. I'm not getting into that right now. That's going to be for something else. Let's just say I hate the missed opportunities they could have taken for those movies. But, like, just before that, I started reading Captain Marvel, and I love Captain Marvel. She's so cool.
Yeah.
And she's great. I didn't start reading Iron Man comics until like 2 or 3 years ago, and even then most of the ones I've read have been post Secret Wars, so anything from 2015 up, I've read that.
Yeah.
Because they're really good. They're like Iron Man before the Robert Downey Jr. movies used to be like a B or C tier hero. People really didn't like him that much.
Huh.
Thanks to the MCU, now we have amazing Iron Man stories. Like, really, really good shit that I could recommend to anybody. Daredevil.
You know,
I've read very few Daredevil comics, but the ones I've read, fucking stellar.
Daredevil.
They've been great.
Daredevil, I've had very limited. I saw the movie, which
I saw the movie. I watched the first 2 seasons of the Netflix show,
which apparently everybody liked, and then they took away for no reason.
Well,
then there's the lesser known ones like Jessica Jones.
Yeah. I watched the first season of Jessica Jones, and the first thing I did.
What's her deal? Is she just like some chick with daddy issues, or like?
That's complicated. I don't honestly know too much about the character to really like have a stake in it. But as far as her power set is concerned, she used to be a superhero that went by the name of Jewel. I know it's super dumb. Her powers are essentially like she can jump really high. She has super strength, and she uses that, and minor invulnerability, and she uses that for a bunch of things. Like, she's not as strong as her husband Luke Cage, but like she's still plenty strong. Like, she can stop a car just by pushing it, and like she used to like pseudo fly, like not quite flying but close enough by sprinting a little bit. And then using her super strength to jump in the air, and it would essentially let her glide for like a few minutes, which is pretty cool. But like, yeah, the Jessica Jones show is great. After that, I bought. It was more a gift for my ex because she really liked Jessica Jones more, so I bought her the first volume of Alias, which used to be part of Marvel's Max imprint, which is their really mature shit.
Yeah.
Holy God. And that was written by Brian Michael Bendis, who I fucking love. Like, Jessica Jones was great. Daredevil was great. I liked Luke Cage, even. I think the only show I didn't like in the Netflix series was Iron Fist. Oh my God, Iron Fist was so bad. Like, did you watch Iron Fist?
I think I watched an episode and I was like, I just...
Yeah. Every episode is him encountering a new person that fucked over his life, and they're like, who the hell are you? And his response every time isn't, my name's Danny Rand, you killed my family, I'm here for revenge. His answer every time is, I'm the immortal Iron Fist.
Oh my God.
That's the exact line every fucking time. And after the second or third episode, it gets really annoying really fast. So like, I didn't even bother to watch season 2 of that.
No.
It was so bad, and it kind of kept me from buying any Defenders or Iron Fist comics.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
There is a certain level where I don't know. It was Robert Downey Jr.'s charisma that got me to like Iron Man.
Yeah.
It was, Benedict Cumberbatch's douchebaggery that got me to like Doctor Strange.
That
Ryan Reynolds,
weird, like, suave chauvinistic.
yeah.
Like,
Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds got me to like Deadpool.
yeah, he's just his character from Van Wilder.
Yeah,
he's just violent.
He's just violent. But there's just certain people who I, for one reason or another, just cannot get into.
Yeah, that's entirely fair.
Cap, don't like him. Iron Fist, sorry, I just don't care.
He's a martial arts dude.
Yeah.
He's got a cool power that's kind of unique, but like, he's still just a martial arts dude. If he gets shot, he can like maybe block the bullet if he's lucky.
We destroyed Captain America. How? His
His
shield
ship
is the size of a dinner plate.
Then he's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
But
there are some heroes where I'm just like, how come you just can't shoot him?
yeah, right.
Like, Somebody managed to shoot and kill Quicksilver. I'm sure you can take down Cap.
In the Ultimate Comics, Spider-Man died from bleeding out from a gunshot wound inflicted by the Punisher as he was fighting the Sinister Six. So, like...
Oh, my God.
Oh, let me tell you, the death of Peter Parker, the Ultimate Spider-Man, like, final arc leading up to Miles Morales becoming the character, fucking top-notch. If anything, I want to see that interpretation of the Sinister Six in live action, because the Green Goblin isn't some dude in a costume who took a serum and, like, made his own technology. No. In the Ultimate Comics, Norman Osborn turns into a fucking monster.
That's another thing.
He turns into this big, green, scaly, Hulk-looking motherfucker that can breathe fire and shoots fireballs.
That's another
from
thing.
From his hands! He's so cool!
That's another thing from the Andrew Garfield movies I couldn't stand. The Osborn curse.
Ugh.
Are you serious right now? The Osborn curse. First you're gonna do my dad was like an agent or some shit, and then the coin.
Oh, well, that was the thing in the comics.
the coin in the subway that makes an entirely different train show up. Whatever, fuck you.
Yeah, that was the thing in the comics.
The Osborn curse. Okay, fuck you again. The good book. I hated that series. God.
So fun fact. Peter Parker has a sister.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Back when they tried to make Mary and Richard Parker like more interesting characters, they decided to turn them into S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, which was so dumb. But like, they had a secret daughter after Peter was born, in this nebulous time void between when Peter was born and when they died.
Yeah.
And they didn't know about each other for like years. And once they did finally meet up, like, his sister's name is Teresa. So
sure,
yeah. She used to be part of the CIA, got drafted into S.H.I.E.L.D. At one point, she was part of SWORD, but then she went back to S.H.I.E.L.D. Took like this weird genetic codex file thing that's like in her bloodstream. It was a weird story, but needless, like, Teresa Parker is one of the better new characters that's been introduced into the Spider-Man canon. I really like her. But, oh my god, the idea of Peter's parents being these fucking super spies is the dumbest shit. And I hate it. I hate it in the comics. I hate it in the movies. I really hope they don't go that route in the MCU.
Yeah, I hated Andrew Garfield's both movies. I really hated Spider-Man 3 just because the few good parts are totally outshined by the bad. Like,
yeah,
Aunt May is a bitch that whole movie.
She's a total bitch in Spider-Man 2 as well.
Yeah, but like way worse in 3 though.
Honestly, I think everyone's worse in Spider-Man 2 because that movie is just the hey, let's shit on Peter Parker movie. Everybody shits on Peter.
Yeah.
So hard. Like,
oh, you think you cool, Spider-Boy? You ain't cool.
Yeah, like fucking Bruce Campbell in the beginning of the movie is like, nah, son, you're too late to the play. You can't make it in. Like, that's the start of it. Harry fucking hates Peter because he thought he killed Norman. MJ hates Peter because he like rejected her advances. Aunt May shits on Spider-Man the whole fucking movie. Yeah. Doc Ock even straight up calls him lazy but smart. Like, yeah. Everybody shits on Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, like, being lazy would be bad enough, but being told, you have potential, but you're wasting it is worse.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my god. But yeah, no, honestly, I think, it feels weird to say, but I do think the best Aunt May out of all of them is Marissa Tomei. Because, like, Rosemary Harris is a good doting aunt character who just wants what's best for her nephew.
It would also make sense because, like, Peter's a high school kid, so why would his aunt be in her 60s? Like, right? She'd be that age.
Yeah. Like, at the very least, with Peter being a high schooler, I could see Aunt May being maybe in her late 40s, early 50s.
At most.
At most.
The older sister.
And, like, fucking Sally Field in the Amazing Spider-Man movies is way too grandmotherly and not aunt enough.
Yeah.
She feels a lot more like his grandmother. And then there's Marissa Tomei, who you can just kind of tell from the way that she plays Aunt May, is more like she loves Peter, obviously. Yeah. He's her nephew. Yeah. She has to. But, like, she knows what she was getting into when she was asked to take care of him. Yeah. And she doesn't, like, try to be a parent. She tries to be more like a friend or a mentor. Like, she loves this kid.
Yeah.
But she also wants him to do good and succeed in life and be happy.
She's like
she wants to be happy with him.
She's like a woman Tony almost.
Yeah.
The
think...
end of Spider... Which, what the fuck?
Also, She
throws a banana at him.
It feels...
She's like, you can dodge bullets.
You're Peter Tingle.
Yeah, you're Peter Tingle. Do not call it that. It's a Spidey sense. Wait, you can dodge bullets, but you can't dodge a banana?
If you can dodge a banana, you can dodge a bullet. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
And he just gets banana right in the side of the head. He's like, what the fuck?
Then again, it also feels really weird to say that I find Aunt May incredibly hot in the new movies.
Remember earlier when you said you wanted She-Hulk to pound you into submission? I would let Marissa Tomei step on my balls wearing heels.
Fuck yeah.
Like, just smack me around a little, you know? Like, sorry, that got too real.
Like, look, I would only straight up want to be subservient to very few women. All of them are celebrities.
I'd be a simp to a few people.
Yeah. Marissa Tomei.
Yep.
Emma Stone.
Yeah.
I'd let Emma
We
Stone...
argued over who
I'd
would
let
get...
Emma Stone do some kinky things to me.
Emma Stone, for sure. Marissa Tomei, just because she's a little older, but still hot, so she has experience.
Yeah.
Don't you laugh at me. I put effort into this. Emma Watson, I would be a simp and a half for. Just because, like, she's incredibly beautiful. She's like an ambassador for women's rights at the UN and shit.
Here's the thing. Here's how she has to do it. You have to be strung up on, like, that, like, X-shaped, like, BDSM thing or whatever. She has to, like, set up little, like, taser patches and shit.
Oh, my God.
Set to a remote. She has to be dressed up as Hermione Granger.
She has to be.
So that way she can use the wand, hit the remote, and go Crucio, and just fucking,
my God.
And just fucking, like, tase you.
Leviosa!
Wingardium Leviosa, that dick.
Scarlett Johansson, because, I mean, Scarlett Johansson.
As Black Widow.
I honestly, vanilla Scarlett Johansson's enough for me.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't know... Anybody who could pull off Harley Quinn.
So, Margot Robbie?
Technically, yeah. Dude, Harley Quinn is my ultimate, like... If my future wife is listening to this... I'm a Scorpio. If my future wife is listening to this... Harley Quinn. There's just something about Harley Quinn.
No, that's fair.
My original two crushes were Harley Quinn and Raven from Teen Titans. Big titty goth girlfriend.
Fuck. See, my two cartoon crushes growing up were Shigo and Starfire.
Yo! Yeah! Yo, Starfire had it for a while because redhead. And redheads are my weakness.
Cute, bubbly redhead, I really like that.
Yes, let us do the thing. But Shago, man.
Oh, man. Fucking love Shigo.
Not Kim, though, huh? Didn't go double redhead on that?
Oh, no. See, I liked Starfire more as a kid because she was, like, cute and bubbly, and I really liked that. Reading a lot of the new DC comics makes me really like Starfire.
Yeah, dude, Starfire is a thotty, dude.
So, like, ooh.
Because she doesn't quite, like, get sexualized things on Earth. So she'll wear, like, a mostly open bathrobe, and she won't think anything of it.
That's the thing about the way they write it in the comics, because most of the comics industry is horned up men.
What up?
the way they write it is that in Tamaranian society, clothing's pretty much optional.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Batman.
Yo, Blackfire? Her sister, though? Best of both worlds?
Step on me, Blackfire. Fuck.
Stilettos. Make me beg. Yo, this got, like, really raunchy. Really like,
but, no, someday I'd like to, like, be able to marry this, just, like, some super cute, nerdy redhead or whatever, and just, like, come home one day, and she just greets me at the door or whatever, and, like MJ cosplay, and just goes, face a tiger, you hit the jackpot. And I would be fucking in it. Like, right then and there, I'd be like, yeah, come here. And just fucking, like, lift her and just throw her into the bedroom. Just like,
Just, oh my god, that's... Yeah. That's...
Tongue on ass. Like,
Ew!
What, you don't eat ass?
No! I'm not... No. I did one time, and it was just awkward for both of us. Like, she thought she was about it, I called her bluff, and she ignored the call when I called. She did not answer. It was... Oh my god.
Also, part of me kind of wants to, like, marry some, like, woman who's...
Technically, I've had the sex with a girl who was dressed up as Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. And that was...
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. That clusterfuck of a relationship. That one night was cool.
Oh, man. No, you know what else would be really fun?
What?
Marrying just, like, this...
Having a girlfriend.
Super tall... Well, yeah. Marrying just, like, this super tall Amazon of a woman. Because, A, there's two possibilities of kinky cosplay sex in there.
No.
Wonder Woman or Big Borda.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, you should read Tom King's Mr. Miracle because it's now absolutely canon that Mr. Miracle is super into bondage.
You forgot number 3. The chick from Futurama.
Snoo, I'm scare roused. But no, thanks to Mr. Miracle, it is now pretty much canon that Mr. Miracle is super into bondage. Because he's Mr. Miracle, super escape artist. He can escape anything, right?
Wasn't it in the movies when
his wife, Big Barda, is his dom?
Dude,
oh, I'd kill for that.
Oh my god. Wasn't there... So...
Crush my balls between big Amazon hands.
So, when I went to Philadelphia with an ex a couple of years ago...
Right.
She took me to a sex shop, and
oh god,
it was actually nothing out of the ordinary, just condoms, a couple dildos,
right?
lube.
You know, normal shit. Maybe some like pornos off in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, nothing that special.
Yeah,
I'm like, she's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "I mean, it's not, nothing I haven't seen. I've been to Spencer's."
Yeah, no, exactly.
And she's like, "Let's go to the second floor." I'm like, "Oh, there's a second floor." We go up there. Holy shit! That's where the don't fuck around stuff's at. There was clamps, paddles, riding crops. There was body paint for some reason.
Full leather bodysuits.
Dude, they had I'm not joking. It looked like a jumper pack for a car battery, and it had the clamps.
Oh no!
And I guess the thing is, you would put like clamps on your and or her nipples,
right?
And you would attach the clamps to this thing, and it would shock both you. I'm like, oh my god!
You know what's really fun is they make
And here's the best part: the woman who cashed us out, top of her head was like spiky, both sides of her head shaved, chain choker, black corset, black mini skirt, and it looked like she had stockings on, but they were actually just knee-highs, black knee-highs, Chucks.
Oh.
And obviously she doesn't ask where you're from. She's just like, "Hey, come check out my band next week." And we're like, "I respect the hustle. What's your band's name?" She goes, "Robots Making Fuck Noises."
Excuse me, I gotta go to the bathroom and relieve myself now.
Which, first of all, is the coolest fucking band name
so
I've ever heard. I hope they make it. And, oh my god. And
robots making fuck.
And the thing is, we're both very open about our preferred style. But there's...
Dude, right now I've been, like, tooling around writing my own novel that is a BDSM romance story.
I would ask if it's better than 50 Shades, but
I'm planning on making it better.
But it wouldn't take much.
No, it really wouldn't.
Because, I mean...
If that can get published, my fucking book can get published.
Because, let's be honest, that movie was not...
I never actually saw the movies.
I watched it one time with a girl that I was hoping to get laid by, and I didn't. So, I watched it one time against my will. And here's the thing. There's literally a line in the... I'm not making this shit up. A line in the movie was, she says, like, "So what are we?" And he says, "You're a wet hole to me." nothing
Oh,
else.
there's so many great lines from Christian Grey
And-
in those books. Because, like, here's the thing. I actually read the book. I read the first book.
I'm not going to judge you for that.
Oh my god, it is such a boring slog.
And it's...
But there's some gems in there.
There's gems, but at the same time, it's like people who don't understand BDSM or they have a slight inkling, like, yeah, it's like whips and chains and whatnot. It's like, I mean, yes, that's a part of it, and yes, the actual act of, I'll say, intimacy can be like rough, but at the end of it, it is nothing but like
it's compassion and care.
Compassion, care, confiding in the other person, be like, you were great, and I love you.
Yeah, in
and
some
blah,
BDSM
blah.
circles, they call that aftercare.
Aftercare. And it is not just a guy beating a chick while having sex with her and being like, alright, we're done.
Yeah, no, it's nothing like that. God, how do we fucking get into this?
I don't care. It was something about Mr. Invincible.
Oh,
or
Mr. Miracle, yeah.
Mr. Miracle.
So, okay, so here's the thing. Here's how I'm gonna make my romance book a little more fun. For one thing, I'm terrible at writing in the first person, so it's not first person. It's third.
Okay.
Because I'm much better at that. The main character is a short, like 5'2", 5'1", naturally curvy Latina.
Oh. Madre de Dios.
And the main guy, I'm planning on making just like this, like, just super average dude. Not like on the ugly side of average, but like, you know, he's just like, he's an average dude. You know, he works out often, he's got a good face, like that kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna make this, like, as appealing to a broader audience as possible, because honestly, from reading 50 Shades of Grey, from reading the fucking Sookie Stackhouse novels that True Blood is based on, from reading all that shit, I am sick to death of the main characters of BDSM romance stories being just white chicks.
There's something...
I'm fucking sick of it.
White chicks and, like, models fucking other models.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point...
Here's the thing. I'm on, like, the cusp of being just above average in terms of looks. I have a decent face. I've got a pretty... If I worked out a little bit, I'd probably have a much better build than I do now. My ex is, like, a solid 8 out of 10. And she...
I've told you your ex is hot so many times.
Like, she's, like, a solid 8 out of 10. And, like...
My ex was pretty, solid as well.
And, like...
I lucked into that shit.
I would do some dirty shit.
Ow!
Not like dirty. Like, we were on, like, the cusp of, like, normal BDSM shit. But, like... Fuck.
I feel like... I hope people listen to this, but I feel bad for whoever does. Because it's like...
This started as a conversation about Marvel.
Because it's like, episode 1, okay, they like Star Wars. Episode 2, oh, okay, they're
sensitive.
They're sensitive, and they really like Marvel and superheroes, and their favorite porn stars. Third one is just like... I know the title for this one.
Oh, boy.
Comics and Collars. Episode 3, Comics and Collars.
Oh my god.
Coming Saturday.
I can't name it anything else now.
No. I'm sorry, but at the same time,
I was gonna call it Simpin' for Aunt May.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry, but at the same time, I'm totally not sorry.
No, don't be. That's great.
Oh man.
But like, no, that's like, I want there to be more representation in those communities beyond, you know, white models banging white models.
And the thing I was gonna bring up before when I went to Philly in the sex shop is, at least with me, all throughout high school, I was, you know, we went to high school together, and I was terrified of bringing it up to high school girlfriends, because it's like, well, if I say it, then, you know, I'm into this, and they're gonna be like, oh god, you're like weird.
Yeah.
Before 50 Shades, you can't argue, it was kind of, I'm not gonna say... It's
still a niche community.
Yeah, it's unspoken, kind of.
Yeah. Like, people have gotten more experimental now that things like 50 Shades have existed, so, like...
Oh my god,
Thank you, 50 Shades, for opening up the BDSM community at least a little bit, but, like, fuck you for being a terrible series.
Seriously, an awful represent... All the mom porn.
Oh.
It was just mom porn.
It's such a bad representation of the community, too, because, like... I mean, I've looked some of this stuff up. Like, yeah, there's some, like... There's non-romantic BDSM, like, relationships...
Yeah.
That, you know, you do sign a contract for and that kind of thing. That's fine. But you don't sign an NDA.
No.
You don't sign any of that shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's,
no.
He was like, when I'm horny, you show up.
Yeah.
You can't fuck anybody else.
You can't drink too much. You have to follow a strict diet and work out, like, super often. And it's like, that just takes all the fun out of the relationship.
Yeah. You have to be sober. You have to be fit. If I'm horny, you come. I don't care what you're doing. You can't fuck anybody else. I'm always the dom. I'm like, this guy's just a dick.
I mean, where's your experimental side? Where's the part where you just go like, you know what? I want to switch it up. I'll be the sub.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I want to find a girl who's totally willing to call me a fat fucking pig if she shoves a butt plug on my ass or something.
Oh my god. Like, wow, okay. I could have lived like 10 lifetimes without hearing that. I didn't, like, get into what I like doing / done. I just said
I've never had that happen to me, and honestly, I'd be too scared to try it. So, like,
okay.
I don't want that to happen.
You know what I like? I like the chicks who say that they're into freaky shit, and then you try to, and they're like, no,
Well, that's where you gotta find out where their comfort zone is. It's like, okay, what do you mean by freaky shit? Do you like getting spanked? Do you like being bit? How do you feel about belts?
So the chick who...
Do you want me to strap you across the ass with my belt? I'll fucking do it.
So the chick who dressed up as Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas and did dirty things to me...
God forbid she hears this.
I don't give a fuck if she does.
Fair.
The relationship
we're not calling her by name, so...
We are not calling her by name.
No.
She... was at the time way more experienced than me in it, and she also had, and I'm not making fun of her for this because this is a very serious thing.
She told me this.
She had like mental problems from past events, and I will never ever make fun of that. It's a very serious thing.
Shouldn't.
But unfortunately, it did affect our intimacy, and there was one time where we were having relations, and I see how you talk, and I'm like, how you doing? And she is crying, like, and not like this feels so good crying. I mean like
she just suddenly broke down.
Yeah, broke down crying, and so I of course stop and I hold her. I'm like, are you okay? And she wouldn't let me do certain things. And again, if somebody I know is listening, I'm sorry.
Right.
She wouldn't let me go down on her.
Oh.
Because that's what one of the guys who.
Oh, he didn't.
It was not a willing experience when somebody did it to her.
Oh no.
Yeah. So she would never let me do it. There was one time where she legitimately just out-freaked me because she liked choking. Apparently choking is just a hot thing now.
Choking's a new thing that I think a lot of women have started like really getting into. But here's the thing. There's a right way to do choking, and there's a wrong way.
There's a wrong way.
There's the this is high.
And then it's like
yeah.
Then there's like what Homer does to Bart.
Yeah, no, it's one hand.
Press with the thumb.
Press with the thumb.
Yep.
Keep a nice grip. Press with the thumb.
Yeah, not like.
It's kind of awkward if you do it like in missionary. It's really fucking hot if you do it doggy style.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
And there was one time where she said, I want you to hit me. And I was like, oh, you want to, like, spank you a bit? And she goes, no, I want you to punch me in the face as hard as you can.
Christ.
I am a 6'5", on a good day 6'6" bear of a human being who I'll lie and say is 280. I was probably close to 280 at the time, so I'm 280.
I'm pretty close to 280 now.
She was 5'6", maybe a $1.10 soaking wet with a brick in each pocket, and she said, I want you to punch me in the face as hard as you can. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. And she's like, "Oh, what's the matter?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna catch a fucking assault charge."
Yeah, no, what?
For you to gasm, sorry.
Yeah, no. Like, straight up, my ex, who wanted to get into some of this light BDSM stuff, we never, like, she bought...
Dude, I remember...
this feels so fucking weird to talk about. But she bought, like,
You don't
one
have
of those...
to.
No, it's fine. She bought, like, one of those, like, BDSM, like, starter packs.
Yeah.
Like, one of those things.
Huh?
It came with... I remember what it came with. It came with, it was all made of, like fake leather and shit like that. Like, it was super cheap. But it came with a pair of handcuffs, a blindfold, a ball gag.
Sweet.
Cat o' nine tails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Rope, a collar, and 4, like, you know, like the wrist and foot
Shackles.
holes,
Yeah.
shackles. Yeah. So it came with all of those. I think it came with, like, maybe a bodysuit or something.
Oh God.
Like, it was a really cheap bodysuit.
That's the level I don't
And
go to.
we barely used any of that stuff because, like, I have dysgraphia, so I can't, like, it takes me a while to practice doing things with, like, practical things with my hands. So, like, I was not comfortable with, like, it's not that I didn't want to use the rope, it's that I wasn't comfortable in my ability to be able to tie it properly.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, so, like, we barely used the rope, but when we did, it was pretty fun.
There you go.
We barely used the whip because my hands and my belts were better options.
Yeah.
So, like, fucking why would I use that?
Yeah.
We used the blindfold, like, maybe a few times. We used the ball gag once. She didn't like that.
Nah.
We
It
used
hurts.
I think we used the handcuffs, like, maybe once or twice. Like, we barely used the set at all except for the rope.
Yeah.
And I think she spent like $20 on it or something.
So the first time that I ever had my BDSM experience, I also feel dirty talking about this. The first time I ever had one was I was with the ex that I went to Philly with, and we were, getting intimate, and she said, I've never asked you, like, what your fantasy is. Like, what are you into? Because we'd only had, like, very white people sex up to that point. And I said, I'm into... And I was like, can you promise not to judge me? I was very self-conscious about it.
No, absolutely.
And she said, yeah. I'm into, like, light bondage. Not like the super...
No, you're not going to buy, like, one of those, like, fucking set pieces that you, like, shackle them up on and, like, do things to them. No.
And wearing the gimp suit.
No.
Like, I'm not into that shit. But, tie your hands behind your back, that kind of thing. She goes, okay, let's try it. I'm like, what?
Huh.
She's like, let's try it. Okay. She said, what do you want me to do? I'm like, I don't know. And so, she leaves the room. I hear her rummaging around for something, and she comes back with a roll of duct tape, and she's like, duct tape my hands behind my back. I'm like, okay.
Here we go, boys.
It was left there. There was no tape over the mouth. There was no anything else, but it was different. Like, when you have it, I'm trying to when you have sex that you've always wanted for the first time, you almost can't.
You almost can't believe it's happening.
You can't believe it, so you almost don't enjoy it because you're like, I've wanted this for 10 years. And I've never...
exactly. You know what's really fun though? Like a fun way to tease like your lover in public or whatever. They make like those new like vibrators that like
the vibrating.
Like the little vibrating egg things that you like put up there, and then you like remote control with an app or something.
Yeah.
I do honestly want to try that with a girlfriend someday, like just once, just to see how it is. They also apparently make dildos that can hook up to your Spotify, and the vibration frequency is set to whatever song you play.
Oh my god!
So imagine you start off with something soft, like you start off with some like soft jazz track. It's nice and pleasurable. It's pretty soft and like. It's not. And the next thing you do is you just play a song off of like the Doom soundtrack.
Oh my god!
Oh man, I would feel so bad.
She'd probably beat my ass
if she could stand up.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no. But like they make shit like that now, and that's really fun. I'm happy for the people that can experiment with that right now, because that's just gotta be a fucking blast to do.
I mean, it must be. I've dabbled very lightly in it. Then there's the people where, I mean, they just take it to, like, a whole new level. Where it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, the 24/7 slaves, and,
yeah, like...
You know, the women walking around in gimp suits and pony girl masks.
No, I'm sorry.
That's too far.
I draw the fucking line at pony masks.
Like, would I be adverse to having a girlfriend show up in, like, a leather bodysuit and, like, tell me to get on my knees? No. Do I want to wear the gimp bodysuit? Fuck no.
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
I'm not claustrophobic, but I would be in that moment.
Leather is hot, and you have to shave for that, and,
We are.
I don't like shaving any hair below my head.
Yeah, we are hairy dudes.
We are very hairy dudes.
Gross.
Oh god, this took such a weird turn. We were talking about Marvel shit, now we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you know what? It's good to branch off. I mean, we did the one episode just on the one thing.
Yeah.
We hit porn last one. This one's fetishes.
More porn.
More porn. I'm sensing a common theme here.
We may as well just be a porn podcast. Called Pillow Talk.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
I remember the dirtiest thing I ever got told in bed was crack an egg in my ass and scramble it.
What?
Crack an egg in my ass and scramble it.
Which ex told you to do that?
Sally.
Oh, fuck.
Sally,
man.
the character, her name wasn't Sally.
Oh, see, my ex, I don't know why she put it the way she put it, but the way our bedroom was set up was when you walked in through the door, on the left was an entertainment center with a TV and the Roku device that she bought.
Mm-hmm.
And like my dresser was dead ahead on the right side of the bed when you're like looking at it, and on the left side was all of her stuff. One time she bought a full body mirror because she just wanted to see what it looked like when we had sex.
Okay.
Here's the thing: she put that mirror right behind this like I don't even like this like wardrobe thing, like all of her like robes and then like shirts and stuff are like hung up on hangers on there. So like we had to move everything out of the way to even just look at the mirror.
Yeah.
And like I don't know why she ever decided to put it there in the first place, because it was not a good spot for it. What's pretty fun though.
That's why you put it on the ceiling.
Felt really awkward looking at myself in the mirror as I'm just going to town. Like
I had that happen once.
Like,
okay. No, I can't tell that story.
Oh.
No, I can't.
Fuck, okay.
No, I can't. It's...
Ooh.
People would judge me, and I cannot.
So, thinking of that, though...
I did fuck a dude's girlfriend because I didn't like him once.
Fuck! Oh!
I'm a bad person.
Jesus Christ, man. I've never even gone that far.
Yeah.
The person I lost my virginity to is a dude now.
I know. Yeah, I'm a naughty boy.
Okay, that being said, though, what's your favorite position?
I honestly am just a fan of her on top.
That's fair.
Like, there's just something about
like cowgirl or reverse cowgirl?
Her facing me.
Ooh,
There's just something about watching a naked woman on top of you that just makes me feel very masculine.
Plus, you know what to do with your hands a lot more, because there's like a lot more that you can see that you can like run your hands on.
Yeah.
I like that.
And second would be doggy. Just for...
Oh, no, you know what's better than doggy? Like a variation of doggy where like she's like bent over the bed, like face down in the sheets.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That's my favorite. Because like I don't have good knees.
I don't either. I'm fat.
Yeah, no, that's why. My knees are shit. So, like, I love that one.
Yeah, I do.
That one's really fun.
I do the edge of the bed trick where her knees are on the edge of the bed and you're just standing normal.
Yep.
And I do that. You get more leverage that way.
You do. It's a lot easier.
Pull the hair. Every third or fourth thrust, you will give her one to the side of the head. I'm joking. Do not beat your
Do
girlfriend.
not. Unless she's into that, do not.
Do not.
Yeah, you know, pull the hair, get it nice and close, thumb in the mouth maybe. I don't know.
Either pull the hair or thumb in the back dimples. Like, really squeeze the hips and just Michael J. Fox it. Just gyrate.
When you fucking are good and hard and you notice her butthole's looking a little lonely. So pull out the
I did
thumb.
that one time, and holy shit, did she not appreciate
Oh,
it.
really?
She was not about the booty. She was not about the booty.
Yeah, no, that was my ex in the
And
most
she got me back because she was on top facing me, and she reached back and just squeezed my balls. I'm like, ah!
See, that's it. I'm not into ball play.
I'm not either. I'm ticklish and it hurts.
Yeah, no. Like, the balls are really sensitive. Like, like...
I love how we talk for 45 minutes about comics and an hour about bondage and shit. Comics and collars.
Comics and collars. But, no, there was one time that, like, you know, I was getting a blowjob, and, she decided to get a little experimental and, like tried to, like, you know, massage the balls a little bit, and all that, and, like, it's not that she had a hard grip, because she didn't.
No.
But they're really sensitive.
They are. Yeah.
And I do not like that feeling of having somebody's hands on my balls.
Oh my god.
Because at any moment they could just squeeze a little too hard and crush the fuckers.
And
I do not want to deal with that.
My ex that did it had the really long fake acrylic nails. Nah.
So not only was she massaging your balls, she was tickling your gooch.
I don't want Freddy Krueger holding.
You don't want Freddy Krueger just rubbing his finger knife against your gooch.
No, I do not, and it was. Oh my god. I miss sex so much.
Yeah, no, same.
I miss it.
So someday we'll both get lucky.
I guess.
Again. There's always time.
Some woman will drop her standards just enough.
Look, man, life doesn't start until your 30s anyway, so, like...
Oh, fuck, I'm 2 years away.
Yeah, I know. I'm 6 years away. No, 5.5.
Oh, my God.
Like, I'm not in any rush to find a girlfriend now, just because...
I'm honestly not in a good enough spot mentally to have one.
I don't really think I am either, honestly.
Like, don't get me wrong, if one kind of, like, fell into my lap, I'd be like, oh, okay, like, but...
Knowing your past with relationships, you gotta make sure that everything's on the table, like, right then and there.
Well, here's the thing. My past relationships didn't end. They imploded.
Yeah, that's how my last relationship went. It just went...
Yeah.
Because I was a fucking idiot.
I don't get the... Oh, it's not you, it's me, and I think we should... No, I get, like... So, the girlfriend who dressed up like Sally for... Yeah. My birthday's Halloween. That's why she dressed up as Sally.
Yeah, lucky fucker.
It was my birthday.
You lucky fucker.
All the girls dressed like sleuths, and it's just for me, the birthday boy. So... We went to high school together. She moved to Florida for 6 years, and then she moved back.
Had a kid.
Here's the thing.
Cute kid, though.
I mean, maybe I haven't. But we crushed on each other. It was that thing where we crushed on each other, but neither of us told the other one. So just, awkwardness.
Yeah.
She moved away. She moved back. She hooked up. She just was like, hey, I'm back. Do you want to hang out? I'm like, yeah, sure. We hung out like twice, and she kissed me. Oh. And I'm like, oh, shit. And she goes, so I really liked you in high school. I'm like, oh, why didn't you tell me?
Fucking what?
Okay, I'm going to say, again, tangent, and I'm sorry, but it needs to be said. Ladies.
Be obvious.
If men are stupid.
Oh, yes,
I know you know that, but men are... I
don't think they understand just how stupid
I am as dumb as a box of hammers, okay? There could be a chick holding a sign that says, Greg, I like you, and I'd be like, I don't want to misinterpret that.
Do you mean as a friend, or just straight up come up to us and go, yo, I really like you, want to go on a date or something, because, like, we can't pick up social cues like that.
And I'm hard. I'm going to say something a little... controversial in the sense of there are some who agree with it and some who don't. Like, I'm obviously not talking about the creep who can't take a hint. That guy needs to take a long walk off a short bridge.
Oh, absolutely.
But the guy who genuinely has good intentions, and then the other person is like, I'm sorry, I just don't think of you that way. It's now awkward for us. I've had it happen to me.
I had it happen to me like
where
a month
it's like,
ago,
hey,
actually.
I like you, and they're like, I'm sorry, I don't really like you back, and it's like, oh shit, sorry, and like I took the hint, and I never brought it back up, and now it's awkward. And then there's the people who say, if you like us, just tell us, and then we do.
And then they either go, ooh, no, or they look at you and go, ew.
I had a girl from high school. Believe it or not, I was not popular in high school. We hung out with the nerds. And, you know, everybody knows the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, really pretty girl.
Perfect example of Aryan purity.
Yeah, that Aryan perfection. I faked confidence just long enough to be like, hey, I'll call her C. I'm like, hey, C, do you want to go to homecoming with me? She said, that's really sweet, Greg, but I'm already going with anybody else.
Oh.
Do you know how, like...
That's devastating. Just say no.
Just punch me in the balls with brass knuckles.
Yeah,
It'll hurt less.
Oh, you're really sweet and I appreciate that, but, you know, I'm not interested. Like, that's much better than just saying, yeah, fuck you.
And then and then there's the people who do like you back, but because you don't bring it up,
you don't think of it like that.
You don't want to misinterpret it, so you leave it alone. And you know, I wonder how many relationships I've missed out on if I just had the balls to fucking
straight
ask.
up. Like, I think 3 or so years ago, when I was living in my old place, when I was living with Dalton and they who will not be named.
Yeah.
Fucking, I was hanging out with my ex one day. We were just like on the bed watching a movie, just cuddling and just relaxing. And she straight up just out of nowhere says, you know, a lot of girls in our choir had like a massive crush on you. And I was like, what? Because, like, here's the thing. Not every person in my choir was what I would consider attractive. Yeah. There were some really cute girls in that choir, though.
Yeah.
So, like...
Yeah, and it's...
I'm not... Up until I completely fucked my most recent relationship, I could not have asked for anybody else on this fucking planet. But now it drives me crazy every once in a while, because I keep thinking... Who the fuck had a crush on me back in high school? Yeah. Like, are they still single? Can I hit them up?
Seriously. And it's like, there's a girl where I work. She's... Okay, so, little fun fact about me. I don't want Miss Perfect.
No.
I want the ditzy...
You want somebody that you can vibe with.
I want the ditzy, awkward, burns toast on the first try... You know, like, you know the...
See, here's the thing about that, though. You gotta watch out for that, because that can carry a lot of baggage.
It can.
Because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, so, we were friends. We'd send memes to each other all the time. And there was... I really wanted to ask her out. I mean, she was pretty, and she was nerdy, and... She had a daughter, but I was like totally cool with that. Like it did not bother me at all.
Dude, you've reached that point where it's either you marry a woman who you become the new stepdad.
I'm really moving into stepdad territory.
You are. You're getting.
But you know what? I'm
close
cool
to
with that.
Territory.
If I vibe with you, I'm cool. But
and you know that's great.
Yeah, but I really wanted to ask her out, and I just never had the courage because I didn't want to ruin the friendship if it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Which is.
You didn't want to make it like super awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, because I kept dragging my feet, she met somebody, and she started dating, and now they're married. And you know what? Good for her.
Yeah, you know what? That's great.
I am so happy that you have found your person, even if it's not me. I am happy to still be her friend. But a few days ago, now that there's, you know, no risk, I said, you know, just for curiosity's sake, if I'd asked you out before you met your current husband, what would you have said? She said, I would have said yeah. And it genuinely upset me at myself because, I mean, yeah, she met her person. That's great.
Yeah.
But I may have missed out on her being my person due to my own cowardice.
Yeah.
And it bothers me.
Look, look, guys, straight up, take your shot. Don't be a creep about it. But take the shot.
Don't be a creep. If she says no, then you just say, okay, I had to ask, and that's it.
Yeah, that straight up happened to me like about a month ago, give or take. So about 2 or so months ago, this really cute girl started working up front at the place I work at.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of my buddies in D&D, great guy, it was his sister.
Oh, fuck.
And him and another one of my buddies kept like pushing me to do it. They're like, dude, she's really cute. She's super nice. Like, you should totally take your shot. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of crushed on her a little bit. I thought she was cute and personable, and like I vibe with that. I think that's great. And one day I decided to fucking take my shot, and I didn't do it super awkwardly or anything. I was just like, hey, like, do you want to just like grab dinner sometime, like just hang out,
Yeah.
find out more about each other. And she turned me down very politely, very nicely. Like I said, great person. She's awesome. But her almost exact words were, "I'm really sorry. I already have a boyfriend." And my first reaction was, "Oh shit, sorry." Like,
didn't know.
Yeah, didn't know. Then, you know what? Fine. Thank you for letting me down nicely. Like, just like that. It's a lot more difficult than I'm making it out to be. But like,
it really is, especially when you have like low confidence like I do. Because again,
it seriously doesn't hurt.
Because again, my old relationships didn't end; they imploded, and they took what little self-respect I had with them.
Yep.
So the girl who dressed up like Sally, it was Valentine's Day. She was really into that show, Sons of Anarchy, the biker show.
Yep.
So
my mom was into that show for a bit.
For her birthday, I bought her a genuine leather vest with the Sons of Anarchy logo and patches and all that. And I gave it to her. I hand it to her. I say, "Happy Valentine's Day. Love you." She looks at it, and she starts crying. And I'm like, "Oh, the emotion will get to you." I'm like, "Oh, don't cry." And she says, "I can't date you anymore." Like, wait, what? That's not... If you don't like it, I can return it. And she goes, "No, I dated you to get over my ex in Florida, and I haven't, so there's no point in continuing dating."
Fuck.
Yeah, we'd been dating about 6 months.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, no. How do you respond to that?
Should we break up, obviously.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, she's pregnant with her best friend's brother's kid. And that's when, like, they announced. So she was already pregnant, so she was cheating on me for at least a month.
Yeah.
And, I have diagnosed depression. Like, diagnosed. Like, I know depression's a term that's really thrown out there a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people... I mean, everybody gets depression, but, like, there's a point when it reaches, like, clinical level.
Yeah, and my therapist, who I've seen for many years, who's a very good therapist, he's like, you have a very bad depression. And so, it's that coupled with what she did just destroyed my self-confidence.
Yeah.
And she also, because of my depression, I would never let it stop me from doing things for her. Like, if she said, "Hey, I want to go here," even if I was depressed as fuck, I'd still go because it makes her happy. Because that's what you do in a relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Sacrifice. Hey, do you want to watch The Notebook? And of course, you fucking don't want to watch The Notebook. But you do because
I'm really glad none of my exes ever asked me if I wanted to watch The Notebook.
It makes her happy.
Holy shit.
So I did it. And whenever she would see that I was having my issues, rather than offer the support that I offered her, she would say, like, you're broken, you're not a man, there's something wrong with you.
What the fuck?
Like, yeah. And
no, you don't say things like that.
And when you're 6 months into a relationship where you say I love you and you mean it, at least on my end.
Yeah.
And then you hear from this person who tells you they love you back that, you know, you're broken. You listen.
Yeah.
You don't just take it as like an immature, wrong opinion.
No, you take
it
as fact.
You take it as fact.
Yeah.
And so after she broke up with me, and I found out she was pregnant with her best friend's brother's kid, who's a fucking hophead and shit.
Wow, great choices there.
I know how to pick them.
I was talking about on her.
Yeah. Okay. I just kind of lived my life with no confidence, thinking, you know, I had my depression spells, and it really got to me sometimes, but what's the term? My heart on my sleeve? Like, yeah. If I'm dating you, I am devoted to you. Like, you are the person I've chosen.
Yeah.
And,
it's a shame my ex couldn't see that.
Yeah.
She was convinced I cheated on her.
Yeah. And I've been cheated on.
So have I. Many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it sucks.
It does.
It super, super sucks. That's why I straight up, like, after the last time I was cheated on, which was like, I don't know, like sophomore year of high school or something, I straight up, like, thought to myself, you know what? I'm done with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna let anybody cheat on me again. I've never even cheated on anybody.
Me neither.
Ever. Because, like, I've been hurt too many times by that to, like, ever want to do that. And to, like, I'm Shanghaiing this for my own thing, but, like,
dude, go ahead.
When my ex broke up with me, it was honestly for a lot of really good reasons on her end, except for, like, one or two of them. For one thing, like, I was still incredibly happy with her. Like, you know, I'd come home from work and, yeah, I'd be a little tired or something, but every time I would see her, like, as she would pick me up from work and whatnot, like, I just couldn't help but smile because I'm like, hey, look, there she is. Like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, after... It's still not great now. I could be so much better, but after my dad passed, like, I've never gotten diagnosed for it, but I just fell into, like, this fucking self-destructive spiral. Like, this horrible, horrible spiral that ended up getting worse. After I moved out of my old place, I moved into an apartment with her because honestly, I don't even know how I could explain it other than I couldn't handle much of anything. I just became this, like, apathetic, lazy, just piece of shit. And, like, I hated myself for it.
So, to back you up a little bit, when my grandparents passed away.
Yeah.
And, like, years later, my mom was still, like, in a tear about it. I mean, yeah, it still hurts to know that your parents are gone, but, like, I feel like the severity would kind of wane a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
no, it never does.
And the therapist that I mentioned earlier, I talked to him about, and he goes, Greg, it takes minimum years to get over losing
it's been about 5 years since my dad passed, and, like,
yeah,
I've moved on from it since then, but honestly, like,
my grandfather passed away in 2009, 10?
Fuck.
So, I mean, 10 years ago, and every year on what would have been his birthday, and the year he died, my mom, or the day he died, my mom is just like...
Yeah, it's one of those moments.
Yeah. And so, you know, to support you in that, it's not like you're deliberately being that way.
No.
Like, you literally don't have a choice.
No, God, no. I just shut down.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad, and, like, I don't blame her for leaving me for those reasons alone. Like, yeah, I could have been a much better housemate. I could have been a much better boyfriend and, like, listened to her and, like, done things for her. And I could have done all of that. But, like, the one thing I never did was cheat on her. But the actions I took, like the things I said, the way my tone was, like all that stuff helped lead her to that conclusion that that must have been what had happened. And I'm not going to get into what finally cinched it for her, but like,
yeah,
I tried to fight to like prove to her that I didn't cheat on her and that I like genuinely loved her with like all my heart.
Yeah.
And the one thing that she said to me that still resonates with me, because like I told her straight up, it's like, no, I will go to the bank, I'll get like my fucking transaction statements and all that shit. You can see for yourself that like I didn't do any of this shit. Her exact words to me were, I don't care. Like,
well, you know, if you're trying to make a point to somebody, and you can, you know, to the moon and back, do everything you can to prove it, and people can decide that they're not going to listen to you before the argument even starts. Like, you can argue with a brick wall all day; it's not going to say anything back.
Like, here's the thing: I'm happy for my ex now because like I barely met the dude, maybe a couple times, but like he's a genuinely nice guy, and I'm happy that she's happy, but like I fear for that man if he ever reaches a point that I reached, because she's probably just gonna do the exact same fucking thing.
I got confronted
with no remorse.
I got confronted one time about.
Or God forbid he actually cheats on her, because that might just send her over the edge.
I
oh my God.
I got accused of cheating one time, and obviously I was not happy about it because I didn't. But rather than be like, "What? No, I didn't cheat," all I did was I handed her my phone and I said, "Look through anything you want to." And
yeah, that was what cinched it, was that she looked through everything to try to find some evidence, and looked through my search history on Google, and that's what kind of, because like I'm just gonna put it out there right now. I made a dumbass decision for the sake of curiosity, and I decided one night that I wanted to check out some cam girl sites.
Cam girls are cam girls.
It was a really, really stupid decision, and I hate myself every day for it. But here's the thing: I went on there purely for curiosity. I didn't spend a single fucking dime on those sites because I'm not going to stoop to that level. I just wanted to see what they were about. And look, if you're a cam girl and you're listening to this, like, more power to you taking money from gross men like that. But like,
I wish I was hot enough for that.
Holy shit, cam girl sites are so gross.
I wish I was hot enough to do that shit.
And like this went on for like a night or two, because like I used it to, you know, jerk off and then go to bed. Which also kind of, you know, didn't help things, because I, like, straight up, my entire week, every week for the most part, would be wake up, get ready for work, catch the bus, go to work for 8 hours, come home, eat, relax for a bit, go to bed at like 2 or 3 a.m. if I don't pass out on the couch because I'm just fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
And part of that routine was that I would just get bored and I would just jerk it to something and just end it there. And it was a problem. It was a massive problem, and I'm more than brave enough to admit that. Yeah. Like, straight up.
I've jerked off with my girlfriend in the bed. You know, it's
it's
not when she was awake.
No.
But,
no, God, no.
But
like, she straight up looked at me and went, you know, if you wanted to have, like, if you were feeling that way, like, super late at night, you could just wake me up and we can have sex at, like, 2 a.m. And I'm like, no.
It's like, you say that, but...
Yeah, exactly. You say that, but I know that if I tried it, you would be not that into it, even though you really enjoy it. So, like, I would just feel bad. And, like, here's the thing. My ex could barely get enough sleep anyway as it was. So if I woke her up in the middle of the night, I could have sex with her, and that might give her a better night's sleep. It could also keep her up for another few hours because she got woken up in the middle of the night, and I wasn't going to take that fucking risk.
I had an ex, not Sally, a different ex. I had an ex say, if you ever want to fuck me awake, like, have your dick be my alarm clock. And it's like, first of all, you get up, like, 2 hours before I do.
Yeah.
And I ain't waking up no 3 hours early for sex. I'm sorry.
Right?
But two, it's like you say that in the moment when maybe you're feeling intimate, but
If I were to actually try that,
wake up at 3 a.m. and see how you're feeling, and tell me it's the same.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like that's the big thing. And like, someday when I get another girlfriend, I'm probably gonna have to explain all this to her. I'm gonna have to explain everything. And
Yo.
like I don't take sides in anything. I didn't take sides in my parents' separation.
Very centrist.
I'm a very centrist person. I'm a very middle of the road, like, yeah, this thing has some good merits, it also had some bad shit things. So like when I get another girlfriend, I'm gonna have to tell her what led to my last breakup, and I'm not gonna make myself look like the good guy. Because that's a dick thing to do.
Well,
but I'm also not gonna drive my ex into the dirt.
Well, one, that's honesty, but two, a lot of... This is going to sound weird, but I've had this conversation with my therapist. I've dated people, but I've never been in a relationship. Because you and your ex, yeah, it kind of went sour at the end.
Yeah.
But you guys were together for a long time.
Almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years. And
it would be 6 years this November.
Through the first 4.5, you guys, I mean, you spent time together. You did things together.
Yeah, we started in high school when I didn't have a job. I had very little responsibility.
And I don't mean to, drive the nail, I'm just trying to use... And so, like I said, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and, I'm literally the guy who brings you home flowers for no reason other than, hey, I saw these and I thought that you'd like them. Or I used to buy me and my D&D group, every now and then we'd go to, oh God, what's it called? Comic store in West Lebanon.
Newbury.
Newbury, thank you.
Yep.
We went to Newbury Comics, and I bought her a Deadpool bathrobe with the hood and everything.
Right.
For no reason other than she loved Deadpool, and I thought she'd like it.
Yeah.
And
I bought my ex a pair of leggings modeled after the Spider-Man character Silk.
Yeah.
Because she really liked Silk.
Yeah. And I'm not asking for my level of...
No.
I'm not asking for my level of... I'm trying to find the right word, but I can't... Effort.
Yeah.
I don't want my level of effort matched. That's not what I want. But if I got even a quarter of the effort that I put into a relationship back, I would know what... Because let me review some of my exes. There was a girl who broke up with me on Valentine's Day and told me that, I'm not a man and there's something wrong with me because I have depression that's diagnosed. And she told me I only dated you to get over an ex and I haven't, so there's no point in continuing this. I've had a girlfriend move to another country and not tell me.
Yep.
I'm not getting into that now because we've already been going a while, and that's a 3-hour show on its own.
Oh, God.
But I've had a girlfriend move to another country and not tell me. I've had a girlfriend ignore me for a week and then dump me on New Year's at midnight through a text.
Oh.
And we haven't spoken in 10 years.
Fuck, man.
My relationships don't end, they implode.
Yeah.
And it's just again, I'm not perfect. I'm not that.
No.
I'm not fucking Ryan Gosling. But when you talk, I listen. And when I see something I know you'd like, I'll probably get it for you. But I just attribute it to the girlfriends I've had were just bad people in their own ways. I will never judge the next person I meet off of the mistakes of the ghosts of girlfriends past.
As long as they don't repeat.
As long as they don't repeat.
Mistakes.
But when you date somebody, I think a lot of the first steps of the relationship is just undoing the damage from the first
Yeah.
guy or the person previous. Like,
makes it really hard if there's a lot of damage there and she never actually gets over it, like mine did. 'Cause holy crap.
yeah.
Did I ever tell you how infuriating that used to be? Like there would be points where like I tried everything that I could to help her like heal from her past relationship before me, which was that was way worse.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot of dumb shit, but that was all dumb shit that I could have easily fixed if she had like given me the chance to fix it, and I would very definitely have been able to. You can't fix the mistakes her ex before me made. Holy shit, if I ever see that guy, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. Because he did some horrible shit.
Yeah, there's guys who, they fuck up by, like, they make a stupid decision. I'm not saying cheating. I mean, just a dumb decision. Like, I can't even come up with one. But...
like, just not putting the energy in the relationship.
Yeah, not putting
when
the
they definitely should have.
Not putting the energy into the relationship and, like, slacking off and not meeting her needs to a certain requirement.
Yeah.
But then there's not just women, there's people.
Yeah.
Guys get it too. There's people, like me with the Sally girlfriend. Like, she fucked me up, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still fucked up from that. Like, I am terrified of the next person I meet.
Yeah.
In terms of, like,
no,
a potential
exactly,
relationship.
Like, you don't know how it's going to go.
Because I'm going to be like, whenever the topic comes up, it's like, look, I have diagnosed depression. You don't got to worry about me blowing my brain pan out anytime soon. But I have diagnosed depression. I have this, and this wrong with me. Welcome to the shit show. Do you want to stick around? And it's worse when, like, because Sally girlfriend also had depression and PTSD, and
which makes it even more fucked up that she told you things like that.
And I did nothing but support her through it, and then she did not pay it back.
You think maybe she said that because she thought that, like, you could accept the same truth she accepted about herself in some weird fucked up way?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I don't want to know.
That's fair.
It's been like 7 years since that breakup, and she has her kid and whatever, and I hope she finds happiness, because I'm not a bad dude, but I can say that, like...
I'm gonna put it like this. I didn't have a lot of long-term relationships growing up. I mean, I'm 24 now. I'm still growing up, but, like...
yeah.
I had a lot of flings. I wouldn't call them relationships, but, like, I'd see a girl for a couple months and then just kind of end it because, like... it just didn't work for me anymore. Man. It was high school. Yeah. But, like, I was in an on and off relationship with one of my exes who we both know that ex is now a man. So, technically an ex-boyfriend, which is hilarious. Yeah. He broke my heart. I'm using the correct pronouns because I don't want to misgender them on.
I know,
on
and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, it's so weird to think about.
I legitimately should not have.
Here's the thing. I don't give a shit how you identify yourself. I found out a few months ago I'm demisexual, so like, I don't give a shit how you identify yourself. Just be happy with who you are.
Yeah.
As long as you're not a furry or a racist. That's all I ask. But
Yo, you and I could not agree more. Racists and furries. And by the way, if you're a furry, like...
if you're like the casual, like, you like furry art or you draw furry art and, like, maybe thought Lola Bunny was hot as a kid, you're fine. Like, I could hang out with you with no problem. If you buy, like, a $3,000 fursuit and go to those conventions,
Okay. So...
get out of my face.
So, the person that you previously dated that we both know...
yeah.
It was like a week after they announced their gender change, and they were like in the midst of telling their family, and most of which were super supportive, but like a few weren't, and they were like dealing with that.
I love his parents. His parents have always loved me.
Oh
which
yeah,
is great.
They're wonderful people.
Oh yeah, absolutely amazing.
Friends with them to this day, and they were doing the library lock-in where kids would go to the town library and they would lock the
you'd
door.
go in overnight, there'd be games.
It would be
snacks
overnight, and there'd be movies and games and snacks. It was a cool thing.
Oh, it was so fun.
A fucking furry shows up in full fursuit, by the way. Full fursuit. And I'm not going to... You know what? That was their right and privilege. I am in no way going to bash them for liking what they like. We just talked for 45 minutes about whips and chains. It would be
whips and chains and relationship issues.
It would be incredibly hypocritical of me to judge somebody for what they like. I will, however, say that the furry went to this person and said they'll never know what we're going through. And
what the fuck?
And your ex's parents were both like right there. You know, their son told them that he is a son a week ago. Like, they're super supportive, but they're still
getting used to
They
it.
slip up every now and then.
Yeah.
They still called him his girl name every now and then, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, you know, I've called you that for 15 years. I'm gonna have to learn."
Yeah, exactly.
It's
been like 17 years. Yeah. This is hard to get used to.
Yeah, and so
luckily he's very understanding.
Yeah, he is. He was super like,
"Oh yeah,
it's okay. You've called me that for years. I understand."
Yeah, exactly.
So his mom is like, "I'm not even touching that one. I have kids to look after." His dad, who we both know is like pretty chill, but once he gets mad, he's mad. Oh. Like, he stays mad for a while. He's like us.
Yeah.
And so he stomps off into the corner to prepare the D&D game for the night. And I go over to, you know, our friend, and I'm like, "Are you cool?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm cool. I just, you know, stupid people." Like, he was totally, he could not have handled it better. And then,
I worked with his boyfriend once.
Yeah.
When I was working at Cumbies. Also a super nice guy.
Also super chill. And
trans.
I went over to the dad, and I was like, "Hey, you cool?" And he's like, and this is his words.
Oh.
This is Eric's ex's dad's words, not ours. And he goes, "If that fucking furry freak ever compares himself to my son again, we're gonna have a problem."
Fuck.
And you know him. He's not the dude who, like, swears.
No.
He's just like that. He's like that, "I'm gonna go straight-faced and stay that way for the next 15 years, man."
Yeah.
And, because, like, the parts of his family that weren't supportive were really not supportive. They were, like, mad against it. And so I walk back over to your ex, and he's talking to the furry kid. I'm like, "Oh, hopefully, like, it's a..." Nope. It was very... And I hear your ex go, "Don't you ever fucking compare you and me again. I'm having to tell my grandparents. I'm having to tell my cousins. I'm having to tell everybody in my life who I care about, and hoping that they don't care. And you just like to fuck with a mascot suit on. You're comparing gender to fetish."
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Actually, oh man, it was... So, Pride Month was last month.
Yes, it was.
Pride Month was last month. And that was the time that I finally decided I wasn't going to put it in a post, but I made it very subtle. So I changed my Facebook profile, my profile picture on Facebook, and I added the little filter over it.
The little frame.
With the asexual flag over it, because that's what being demisexual is. It's kind of weird to explain. It's asexuality, but, like, you still like to fuck. It's just that sexual attraction doesn't interest you as much as the romantic and emotional attraction.
Dude, cuddling over sex any day.
Absolutely.
Any day.
Like, is sex fun? Hell yeah.
Sex is mad fun.
Sex is great, but I'm not gonna, like, have sex all the time just because, like, I can. It has to be, like, a really special moment. Please continue. I come out with it, and not a lot of people have even asked, probably because a lot of them don't know how to respond to it. But my mom sends me a message. Mm-hmm. And my mom has always been very supportive of everybody in the LGBT community. It's how I was raised. It's how my sister was raised.
Same.
Like, we had neighbors across the street when I lived in Georgia that were a lovely gay couple.
Yeah.
Their names were Casey and Landon. They're never going to hear this. But their names were Casey and Landon. They were wonderful people.
I had Gabers growing up.
Gabers?
Yeah, the gay
that's good.
The gay neighbors. I call them Gabers.
I never thought of calling people that. That's great.
Yeah.
Like, I've pretty much grown up around people in like that community my whole life, because like one of our mutual friends is non-binary and pansexual. One of my exes is trans. My mom's ex-bosses from the Grafton Tavern are a retired gay couple. One of my ex-friends from high school has 2 foster dads.
One of my ex-girlfriends is bisexual. I have a bisexual sister.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
Like, we've grown up around this community, so like, I don't think any differently of that.
Fuck no.
But like, my mom messages me and she's like, so you're demisexual, huh? And I'm like, yeah, and I explained it to her. She's like, I know what it means. I'm just glad you decided to come out with it. You know, just remember I support you and love you no matter what. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Actually, my fucking sister's bi. Like,
I was going to say it, but I figured like you would cover your family.
Yeah, my sister's bi. I actually don't know much about either of my parents' orientation. I mean, they were married for 20 years, so at the very least they're straight. At the very most they're bi or pan.
Yeah.
Like, I could see my dad maybe going down on a dude if he really liked him. Can't see it now because my dad's been dead for 5 years. But
wow, that got dark.
Oh, actually, did I ever tell you the time that my dad told me that he and his girlfriend, after my parents got separated, they went down to, I think they went on like a small vacation in Rhode Island for like the weekend or something, just like get away. And
P-Town? Providence? P-Town?
Maybe they went to Providence. I don't quite remember. But my dad and his girlfriend like go down to Rhode Island for the weekend, and they decided to hit up a couple bars one night. So they go bar hopping. One of the bars they go to is a gay bar.
Of course.
And there was one guy. There was one guy that night who, according to my dad, was a fucking twink. this guy was like really into what he liked about my dad.
Nice.
Like, just picture this. You're listening to this. So my dad was 5'8", but he was in the Air Force. My dad was built like a fucking truck even after he was discharged from the military. Like he had a bit of a belly. And he liked to wear Hawaiian shirts and fedoras.
Hell yeah, he did.
And my dad got a lot of looks from the ladies. Oh,
hell yeah, he
going
did.
off on a tangent from that. There was this one time my dad and I had like just a bonding day together. Like, we went to Keene, visited a comic shop, had some lunch. And as we were driving back home, we decided to take a detour through Keene State.
Yep.
And every single college girl who looked over at my dad's little Eclipse, because he still had the Eclipse at the time, like looked over, saw the Eclipse, looked at my dad, and he could see a few of them like do a double take and be like,
yeah, the glasses down.
Like the glasses down, like, oh shit. My dad was bald too, so like bald,
dude, ladies
beard,
dig bald,
built
man.
like a fucking truck. I wish I could look
just
like that.
my dad.
Right? So they go down to this gay bar. And
I want to take you to a gay bar.
They realized it was a gay bar the second this fucking twink comes up and hands my dad a drink. And he goes, oh, thank you, I'm flattered, but this is my girlfriend. And the guy looks at my dad's girlfriend and goes, oh, she's cute too. Here, have another drink.
Dude, I had a similar experience with my dad.
Hold on, before you get that, my D&D group has been... It's like kind of half joking but half serious. We're planning on doing a vacation trip up to Montreal when this whole thing like passes through.
Fuck yeah.
Since the legal drinking age is 18 up in Canada, or in certain parts of Canada, the plan is to bring our gay friend, you know him, Adam.
Adam's gay? I mean,
You didn't know?
Okay, I had...
Dude, I had the suspicion the second I met him when I got transferred to the deli.
To be fair, I had the suspicion. I had no confirmation.
You didn't want to ask him.
It's same thing with me. I mean, we were friends since elementary school, but I just felt like it was kind of like if he wanted me to know, he'd tell me.
Oh, yeah,
like that kind of
thing. Gay.
Okay.
So the plan is that we're gonna spend one of those nights in that little mini vacation and take him to a gay bar for one night.
Hell yeah.
For moral support, so like the whole group is going. And here's the thing. I'm like a decently average looking dude. one of our other buddies is also pretty average looking. Our other buddy, who's in a relationship, is like a solid, like 7.5, 8 on a good day.
Nice.
Like he's slim.
Good on him.
He did fencing in college.
Of course he fucking
And he
did.
has super long hair.
Oh my god.
And he has really nice features. So like I have the sneaking suspicion we're gonna go to that bar and everybody's gonna look at our buddy and try to get him drinks, and we're just gonna like slide him down to Adam.
There
It's
you
like,
go.
here you go, man.
Get your boy some dick, yo.
Yeah, right? Some of that good Canadian dick.
So I had a similar experience like that you had with your dad with my dad. He brought me to the Mass Chaos tour, which was Hailstorm, Stained, and Godsmack.
Oh, is this the two girls?
The two girls?
Yes!
So
we talked about this when we first started Dick Chicken.
yeah.
Which with our buddy Dalton, but oh my god, I love this story.
So me and my dad, we went to the Massachusetts Mass Chaos tour, which was Hailstorm, Stained, and Godsmack performing, and we were right in the middle of the pit. Like we were 10 feet at most away from the stage. And, of course, when you're that close to the stage, it's super cramped because everybody's trying to get as close as you can.
Right.
Directly in front of us were just two rocker chicks. Just two, like... You know the groupies that try to fuck the band?
Yeah.
Them.
Oh.
One of them was just wearing a black tank top with no bra and black Daisy Dukes. And the other one was blonde, wearing a Stained shirt. By the way, Stained is in my top 3 favorite bands.
Oh, shit.
Yep. And black jeans and Chucks.
Right.
And so
I can tell which one you would have wanted to go for.
They're directly in front of us. And so they turn around, because, you know, the show hasn't started, and you just kind of mingle with people. And they turn around, and they're like, oh my god, are you guys brothers? And my dad, like, because his arms are down by his head, he hits me in the side of the leg, and he's like, yeah, we're brothers. I'm Bill, this is my brother Greg. And so they're like, oh my god, what do you guys do? And I'm not like faking that accent. That's actually what they sounded like. They sounded like the Dits. And Dad goes, well, I'm a propane technician, and he lied. He said that I was a chef, and I do cook for a living, but at the time I was a dishwasher. And so he's like, my son's a chef. And they're like, oh my god, really? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I'm Tina, and that's Brittany. And we're like, of fucking course your names are Tina and Brittany.
Tina, Brittany, if you're listening to this, like, hit us up.
Yo, if you were at the Mass Chaos tour in 2009 talking to a dude and his way too young-looking younger brother...
like, it's not that weird. My great aunt was, I think, like 20-some odd years older than my grandfather. So, like,
so we just chat with them for a while, and they're like, "We're computer technicians," and I'm like, "The fuck you are?
Yeah, right.
We're all lying here. We're never gonna meet again." And so the chick with black hair, who was in front of me, and the blonde chick was in front of Dad, and Dad, from -3 inches away, sends me a text that says dibs on the blonde. So it turns out the black-haired girl was Tina, right? The blonde was Brittany.
That makes sense.
So
a
Tina,
blonde named Brittany, fucking shocking.
Fuck yeah, all right. So Tina turns to me and says, "Do you want to see my tattoo?" The answer is always yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And
why would you ever say no unless you're with somebody?
And they were stunners too. I mean, they were so beautiful. Because I'd never seen like rocker chicks. I'd only seen dudes.
Right.
Because you know, and here's these two chicks in rock t-shirts, and they're like about that life. She grabs her tank top and lifts it up, and she had like Chinese writing down her her ribs. No bra. Didn't cover it, anything.
Nice little bit of side tit.
Just let them hang out. She goes, "What do you think?" I'm like, that's really nice.
Oh, yeah.
And then Hailstorm starts playing. They're a great show. And then she goes, how about you come up here where it's less crowded? And she literally presses my chest against her back, grabs my right arm, wraps it around her waist and holds it in place, and just gyrates on my dick for the rest of the show.
Fuck, dude.
That was
I bet your dad would not have minded if you just went, hey, can you wait like 30 minutes? I'm gonna go plow this
Oh,
chick.
he would have been like up top. Like, Dad was... Let me tell you how I told Dad that I lost my virginity.
Oh, God. See, I haven't even told my parents. I never told my parents I lost my virginity. I think they just kind of knew at one point. Like, yeah, he got...
Yeah, I can smell it on him. But
you can smell the
I told
sex
Dad,
thing.
I'm like, Dad, I figured I'd tell you I lost my virginity to my ex.
Yeah.
A few days ago. And he goes, did you use a condom? And we did. It sucked, but we did. I said, yes, we did. It sucked, but we did.
Right.
And he goes, and he just kind of did that, like, slow head nod, like, pondering what to say. And then he just goes, up top. And we and we high-fived.
So, here's the thing. My sister and I never told our parents that, like, we had sex. Like, our family's always been sex positive. Like, they've never shied away from the topic of sex. But, like, I don't know. Part of that experience of just being a teenager and being like, oh, God, I don't want my parents to find out I had sex.
Yeah.
Like,
because you think somehow you'll get in trouble or something?
So, one day, my parents are out, like, running errands or seeing a friend or something. I don't quite remember. But, like, I'm in the kitchen. I'm making a sandwich. And, like, I just grab a bag of chips and a drink. And my sister was hanging out with her boyfriend upstairs. When my parents are gone, I don't give a shit what my sister does as long as they're, safe.
Yeah.
So, like, I come down. I'm just about finishing my sandwich. My sister comes down, looks me dead in the eyes and went, so I just had sex. And I looked at her. I'm like, did you use protection? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, give me some skin. And she like,
I literally actually high-fived for that.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, here. Like, good job. Like, good job using protection. Did you enjoy it? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, good. Great.
When I told Mom that I lost my virginity, it was kind of... She was the one I was more reserved about telling for some reason. You know, Dad's... Well, I figured Dad would be like, cool.
No, Dad, as long as you use protection, like, dads are always going to be like, dope. Awesome.
When I told Mom, she's like, is it this person? I said, yeah. She said, did you use condoms? I said, yes. And then she said, was it good? I'm like... I mean,
it was my first time having sex.
Like,
so
I don't really have anything to compare it to. And she said, did it beat jacking off? I'm like, yeah. She goes, nice.
Did I... Okay, so I love telling this story just because it's so hilariously awkward. Did I ever tell you how I lost my virginity?
Didn't you lose your virginity with your friend
on prom night? On
prom night with your friend still awake in the room?
Okay, to preface this, all right. I didn't. None of us actually had to convince our parents terribly hard to like let us all stay the night at my place. After prom. So, my junior prom was on May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
I fucking loved it. So me and my ex-buddy, who was dating Greg's sister at the time, step sister.
I call her my sister. She's my sister to me.
And I was dating my ex, which is now a man. But he wasn't a man at the time. And so it was May 4th, and my ex-buddy and I decided that we should
You dressed
dress
up as the Imperial officer.
I was an
that
Imperial officer. Like, we got these costumes custom made at this costume shop that used to be in Walpole. That's actually where we got our costumes when we did Phantom of the Opera, too.
You were an Imperial officer. My sister was wearing an R2-D2 dress.
And our mutual acquaintance
was a Jedi.
Jedi.
Yeah.
But my ex at the time, my ex did not want to join into that. But she wore he wore a very, very nice dress. I thought it looked nice.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then we get back to my house, and we all go up into my bedroom. We're hanging out. We're having fun, watching movies, eating snacks, like, super late at night. And right about 1 a.m. hits. We don't hear a single peep from our mutual acquaintance and your sister, who are sleeping on my futon. So...
Dude, asleep or not, it takes big dick energy to fuck with somebody 3 feet away from you in the room. That's savage.
So, we were watching Scott Pilgrim.
Of course you were.
And we were making out, and things were getting kind of hot, and I looked at them, and I was like, "Do you want to have sex?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." So like, I grabbed the condom, and we just kind of did it. It was quiet and awkward, and it's your first time having sex.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on, and it's over before you even know it.
Yeah, to aspiring, to people who are virgins listening to this, do not expect porn-grade sex the first time you have it. It is going to be awkward. You're not going to quite know what to do.
Here's the thing. If you do want to make it a romantic first time, though, go hard on the foreplay leading up to it, because that first time you're going to bust quick and you're going to hate yourself for it. But it's natural. It happens. I think the first time I had sex, it maybe lasted like 2 or 3 minutes. And then it was over. Like that.
So I'm going to be that guy right now. No partner I've ever had has made me orgasm, because I just last too long. And before you say I'm bragging, it's not. That sucks. It sucks. I would rather be a 2-pump chump than go 2 hours and nothing. Dude, it sucks.
Straight up foreplay and everything, like...
Okay, blow and hand job combos have been the orgasm.
The longest amount of time, foreplay and everything, that it has taken me to achieve orgasm during sex, I think took like almost an hour.
Yeah. Because
a good chunk of it was foreplay, and another good chunk of it was just... I was just going to town.
Yeah. And then all my exes, they'd orgasm, and they'd just quit out. Like...
Yeah.
They just be like, alright, I'm done. It's like, well, okay, I'll just...
But no, so we had quick, awkward first-time sex.
Mm-hmm.
We lost our virginity to each other. And, I don't find out until the next morning, when everybody leaves. Our mutual acquaintance looks at me and goes, "Yeah, so we were awake, and we heard all of that. And then, apparently, they waited until we fell asleep, and then they fucked on my futon."
Y'all are a bunch of savages. Like,
and then, like, a couple hours later, my sister is like, "Yeah, you guys weren't that quiet, by the way." Like, the walls in my old house weren't terribly thick, but I thought they were thick enough, and I thought we were quiet enough.
Luckily, when I lived there, I never heard anything from my sister and her boyfriend. But,
there you go.
But, God,
imagine losing your virginity on prom night to your like, girlfriend at the time, right next to where your buddy and his girlfriend are sleeping while you're watching Scott Pilgrim. You can't have a better experience than that. It's so funny every time I think of it.
Oh my God. The craziest place I ever had sex would have to be at school during school. It was during finals, and we went out to the softball field that was behind the buses, the one that gym class would use.
Yeah.
And we fucked on the pitcher's mound.
Fuck!
Yeah.
See, I wish some of my sexual experiences were better than that, because, like, honestly, I've only ever had sex with 2 people, both of them are exes.
Yeah.
I've
only had sex with 2 people as well.
I think...
Looking for number 3, ladies.
Not even the craziest location, but, like, there was one point that my ex and I decided to, like, have a nice picnic, like, out in the woods. It was, like, early summer, give or take. So we went to Allen Brothers, bought some some of the pre-made shit from the deli. Like, I think I bought, like, chicken tenders and, like, some fries or something, and a drink. And we go out, and we have a nice picnic, and while we're there, we decided to have the picnic in this nice little clearing that's off to the side on one of the cross-country trails up at the high school.
Okay.
And since this was dead summer, there was
no school.
There was no school and no cross-country, so, like, we didn't have anything to worry about. So, like, that was my first time ever actually having sex, like, outdoors, and it was nice in a weird way. Like, it wasn't too hot.
Outside sex is sweet.
Yeah, it was super nice.
Yeah.
And then there was another time we had sex in her in the living room of her old house that her mom still currently lives in.
Yo, real talk.
While her mom was out.
Yo, real talk right now. As me and my ex were going to the softball field to fuck, our friend Kevin and his girlfriend Hannah were coming back And we're like, oh, what are you guys doing? And Kevin goes, yo, we fucked in the woods. And I'm like, we're about to fuck on the softball field. Like, you can't make it up. I'm so, like, we were like, yeah, we high-fived.
You didn't even fuck in the batter's box. You fucked on the pitcher's mound.
On the pitcher's mound.
Anybody could have come out and went, what are those two kids doing?
Well, there were people in the soccer field, like, higher up. That like if they for any reason went to the edge where
they would have seen it.
They would have seen us. We're in the middle of the woods fucking on a pitcher's mound with my coat being our blanket.
I did oh god. It feels so weird to talk about it. But so when my ex and I first started dating, it was in the middle of winter. It was the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So after Thanksgiving break is done, we head back to school, and one night we were there for practice for the musical, and our stuff was done. Everyone was packing up and getting ready to go. We were waiting for a ride, and we just kind of like snuck off in the special ed room. And
oh my god!
We started making out on the couch in the special ed room.
Oh my god!
She gave me a hand job on the special ed couch. So there was that, and then there was one time there was one time I got a blowjob in the boys' bathroom next to the gym.
Hell yeah! Stall 1 or 2?
It was stall 2.
Hell
because,
yeah!
Bigger dude.
Bigger dude. Hell
it was
yeah.
stall 2, and we actually almost got caught because somebody came into the bathroom.
Dude.
Luckily, they didn't notice.
Dude, this is straight talk right now. If I walked into a fucking bathroom during school and I saw a dude's legs sitting on the toilet and I saw a chick's legs kneeling in front of him, at most I'd be like, congrats. Like,
yeah, right.
Like, you know what? Good for you. Real
That's
talk.
why it'd be really awkward when you like pass your hand up between the stalls and you're like, give me some skin, brother.
Yeah. It's like, hell yeah, boy, get it.
Oh god, that'd be so awkward.
Fucked at school during school. There was one time where, oh god, this also feels weird for me to talk about. I went down on my girlfriend, and at the time, my girlfriend, and I thought she'd said something, so I came up and I did you say something? And she goes, honey, you're bleeding.
Oh!
Yeah, you see where this shit's going.
Yep.
And I thought maybe I'd like bit my lip or my tongue or something, so I go into the bathroom, which is right off her bedroom, and I wash my face off, and I'm like looking for the cut, and I'm like, oh!
Oh no!
So I just walk back into the bedroom, and I'm like, honey, that wasn't mine, it was yours. And she just, like, super embarrassed. And she's like, I thought I had another day. And I kept going. Because you know what?
You got your Red Wings. You may as well finish
I got my Red Wings, and a real man loves this woman every day of the month.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you know what's really fun but kind of awkward at the same time? Shower sex.
I've tried it, man. I can't.
I enjoy it every once in a while. There was one point when my ex and I were still like in the early phases of our relationship.
Yeah.
Where we were like we fucked every chance we could get, pretty much, because like it was either school or I was working or it was both.
Because like her mom was very anti-sex. Yeah.
Well, she wasn't anti-sex, but she was raised very conservative Christian.
Yeah.
So like it was that kind of thing, but shower sex is fun if you can get the right angle, just because like it's very like you're both like incredibly wet. There's not a lot of friction there. Like it's very easy and it's very fun. But she really liked having sex in the shower on her period because she got bad periods. Like they hurt.
Yeah, my ex did too.
So it's about to get gross, but fucking her actually helped like get the blood clots out like faster and like more easily.
Oh no, dude, I've been there too.
Like yeah, so like you know what I'm talking about. There
was one time where I went
yo dudes, if your girlfriend's on her period and she goes to take a shower, ask to join her and then fuck her, because like she'll love it.
And if she if
she says no because she's embarrassed about that kind of thing, be a fucking man.
Well, also if she says like, it's that time of the month, this is what I said, then let's make a fucking mess. And most of the times it worked.
Because washing machines and bleach exist for a reason.
At least my exes, that's when they felt the most self-conscious. And they're like, well, this is when I'm the least desirable.
I think that's a normal thing,
and I'm like,
honestly.
Like, no. Like, you know, I'm not some fucking boy who's scared of it. I'm 27 years old.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this.
It's like look, I've grown up around women all of my life. There's nothing you could possibly say to me that could actually turn me off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I grew up around women. Trust me, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like, it... Like,
find out what brand of tampons she used or pads and buy them without her asking.
Absolutely. Like, don't be that kind of creep who, like, keeps a schedule of, like, okay, it's almost her time of the month. But it's like, if
hey, I was taking a piss the other day. I saw you were loud here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Little things like that. Like, it's weird that we're giving, like, isn't it kind of weird that, like, single guys can give, like, the best relationship advice, but, like, honestly, sometimes we're just so stupid we can't follow it ourselves.
Coaches don't play, Eric.
That's true.
You know,
that's very true.
So,
like, yeah. Take all of this to heart. Anybody who's listening. Like, if you're a guy, seriously, like, treat your woman like a fucking princess. Love her no matter what. Talk about things.
And we know that this
Being a man, I know you can be incredibly reserved about talking about things because talking about your emotions and feelings is a weakness to some people. Trust me.
My ex used to pry that shit out of me. She'd be like, you know, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. And she goes, no, you get quiet when you're upset. What is it? And she wouldn't let it go. And
yeah.
And she knew, and like, this is the thing that I am very, like, if I don't want to talk to you, don't talk to me. Like, yeah. I'm very shut down.
I grew up in a military household, so showing any sort of feelings that were at all negative, like anger or sadness or anything, was, like, I love my dad, and I know he was raised the same way, and being in the military definitely didn't help, but, like, I'm not going to say I'm a very emotional person, but if I feel an emotional urge of some kind, like, I'm going to feel that urge, and that's just what's going to happen. Dude, and I had to suppress that for, like, years because I just was raised to be a very, like, stoic man. I can't let things get to me and, like, all that shit. And honestly, that might be part of what destroyed my last relationship. I was not emotionally vulnerable.
My dad's plan for his emotions is he's going to keep them bottled up right here, and one day he'll die. And that's his plan.
Which is incredibly toxic, and you should not do that. Seriously, guys, don't be afraid to show emotion.
Dude, I cried at the end of a fucking musical a week ago.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in therapy for 22 years.
I've actually... It's weird to think about, but I have cried more often watching, like, an emotional moment in, like, a TV show or a movie now that I'm single than I did when I was in a relationship. And here's the thing. There are some movies that made me cry openly in front of my ex. Like, oh my god. Have you seen Coco?
Coco is a beautiful movie.
It is a gorgeous fucking movie. But, like...
When he starts singing Remember Me and his grandma...
His
grandma remembers.
I cried.
And then she cries.
I cried so hard during the end of that movie because it's just such a bittersweet ending.
Remember me.
Though I have to travel far, remember me. Each time you hear a sad guitar,
it's beautiful.
That I am there with you, no matter. Yeah, like all that shit. Oh my god, Coco's a beautiful movie, but like,
great movie.
There were some movies I cried during.
Grave of the Fireflies. Fuck. Not only did it make me cry, it ruined my weekend.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have a few. Some of my work and D&D buddies haven't seen a lot of Studio Ghibli movies, and they haven't seen a lot of Miyazaki movies either. And there's a point at some point that we're gonna like sit down and just like marathon a bunch of them, just like hang out and have fun and watch them. I'm half tempted to bring my copy of Grave of the Fireflies and give everybody a bad fucking time. Where are my Ghibli movies? Oh yeah, they're all right here.
Oh my god.
Like I have all of these ones on Blu-ray, and then I've got like Nausicaa, Grave of the Fireflies, and Lupin the Third on DVD.
I remember my buddy Scott. He was buying Ghibli movies at Walmart, and he's like, He's like, yeah, I've seen Totoro, I've seen Spirited Away. He's like, I haven't seen this one, and he picks up Grave of the Fireflies. And I'm like,
did you tell him to watch it?
I told him, don't buy it because it will ruin your fucking weekend. And he's like, yeah, okay, way to upplay it. And so he buys it, and 2 days later, I get a message from him that literally just says, I should have listened. And the next time I saw him, like, how's Grave of the Fireflies? He's like, oh.
Yeah, that's how you can get a good reaction. It's just,
Yeah, you can't even make words anymore.
Oh my god. There's a few, like, Japanese anime films that have made me cry because they're just beautiful films, and a lot of them have, like, sad, like, endings or moments and stuff like that. Like, Grave of the Fireflies is one of them.
Grave of the Fireflies.
That one, I'm used to it now, so I don't cry when I watch that movie, but, like, holy fuck, the first time seeing that movie.
Oh, it's just...
It just broke me. But that one, A Silent Voice.
I've seen it.
It's on Netflix. It got shafted for an Academy Award, and it should have won one. But, it's a movie about these two high schoolers, who used to know each other in elementary school. One of the main characters is a deaf girl.
Okay.
And the whole movie is about, like, rekindling a friendship and a relationship out of childhood trauma because you realize that this person has grown up and changed a lot. And everybody in the movie has problems beyond just one of them being deaf.
Okay.
And, like, it fucking broke me. It was so good, and I highly recommend watching it even if you don't like watching sad movies, because it is just a really well-made movie. But also on Netflix, The Garden of Words.
Also
It's
have not.
45 minutes long.
Oh.
It is some of the most beautiful animation you will ever see. Ever. Like, a lot of the setting shots, like a lot of, like, the exterior, like, nature shots and shots of the city look almost photorealistic. It is gorgeous. And it's about this fucking high schooler and this teacher who, like, form a relationship by hiding their problems and insecurities. Like, the main character wants to be a shoemaker.
Okay.
Like he has, like, this knack for creating, like, fashionable shoes and shit. This teacher has, like had an affair with a student at her old job, and the rumor kind of, like, spread a little bit to the new school she worked at that this kid also goes to. Also, if you watch Garden of Words, do not watch it in English. That English dub is bad.
Okay.
Watch it in Japanese, because the end of the movie is absolutely beautiful. Everything comes to a head. The guy leaves, and like the main character chick realizes all along that, like, she was just wrong about everything, and, like, bolts after him. And, like, it's one of those apartment complexes that's like a skyscraper type deal with, like, the outdoor staircases. It's raining. She's barefoot. She slips down the stairs, like, bolts after him, crosses into him halfway, and they just, like, let everything out. And the final shot of the movie is this beautiful, smooth shot of the camera panning up to her face. She breaks down into tears, jumps into his arms, and just fucking cries into his shoulder as the camera pans out, and all you see is the sun coming back out and the rain falling away as the credits roll. It is a gorgeous fucking movie. And yeah, that's a movie I watched after my breakup. Holy shit.
Two things that aren't movies. Well, one could be argued is you and I watched not long ago The Match Girl, the Disney short.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. You actually...
People watch that at Christmas.
I tried to find it on YouTube. You have to pay to watch it.
That's ridiculous.
Disney, money grubbing.
Fuck you, Disney.
I will not ruin it for people. Those of you who have seen it, your heart just sank.
You know.
And those of you who have not seen it, I'd say watch it, but I don't want you to suffer. So
No, you know what's even better? Watch it at Christmas.
watch it at Christmas.
Watch it at Christmas. It's a great Christmas short.
The second thing that legit made me cry, and you are not going to believe this, Bo Burnham.
Really?
Yeah, he has a song called Can't Handle This.
Oh, no.
Where it starts, like, the first 3/4 of it are a joke, and he's, making fun of Kanye West, and he's talking about how, like, he put too much shit in his burrito, and it broke, and it's
a normal Bo Burnham song.
I'd hope that we can maybe watch it after this, but the last bit, he says, I wish I could stand here and tell you my biggest problems are how I can't fit my hand in a Pringle can and burritos. But my biggest problem's you. I want to please you. I want to give you the night out you deserve, but I want to tell you what I think and not care what you think back. Part of me loves you. Part of me hates you. Part of me needs you. Part of me fears you. I don't think I can handle this right now. And then he said, come and watch the skinny kid with steadily declining mental health and laugh as he tries to give you what he cannot give himself.
Fuck, that hits. That hits hard. God damn.
I can tell you anything if I just make it funny and make it rhyme, and if you still don't understand me, then just run it one more time. And it's supposed to be about how his previous, 3 specials, he was like, I'm depressed, I have anxiety, I'm miserable, and I'm trying to tell you through comedy so it's not awkward, but nobody's getting it.
Yeah.
And then he went on the H3H3 podcast, and he said after I did Make Happy, which was the name of the special, he said I stopped performing on stage because my anxiety,
it just got way too bad.
My anxiety was just getting to me. After I finished shooting the special, I went back in my dressing room and I just cried.
Fuck.
He's like, no amount of money would make me feel better. I got paid very well for that special. It didn't help. And I'm just like, oh, God, Bo.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't think I could ever cut it as a comedian, because I, a lot of my life experiences, a lot of the stories I could tell aren't even mine. They're stories other people have told me that I could use for comedy, and that I have used to make people laugh. But I don't have any experiences of my own that are what I would consider really funny, except for the story of how I lost my virginity.
Yeah.
And that's about it. But also, I don't want to feed into that trope that all comedians are just depressed.
Well, it was Robin Williams who said the people who make you laugh and smile are the ones who need to the most.
Yeah.
And then the old, I forget who it was, but somebody said tragedy plus time equals comedy.
All comedy comes from tragedy.
All comedy comes from tragedy.
It sounds terrible to say now, but it's also been almost 20 years since it happened. That's why, literally a week after 9/11 happened, my dad started making jokes about it. Not because he was a terrible person. He was in the military at the time. They were always on high alert, but he needed a laugh.
And also, if you make something funny, it kind of takes the sting out of it.
Yeah.
It's gone from being hurtful to it doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah.
Which is why I used to make the joke, I don't want a funeral, I want a funeral. Where
that's good.
Yeah.
Open the casket at the wake and just confetti shoots out.
I remember the day that my mom's mom passed. Well, not the day she passed away. It was a few days later when the cremator actually brought us her remains in a beautiful pine box. He brought us her remains and a pint of maple syrup, because that's the most New England shit you can do.
You're right.
And so he gives us his regards and he leaves. And so now it's my mother, my sister, both my brothers, and me staring at this pine box that has our grandmother in it. And nobody's saying anything because we're not quite sure what.
Right.
And I just go, "Hey, Grandma, did you lose weight?" And Mom just slowly turns her head at me. And she goes, and then, my mom takes her ashes out of the box and she puts them in an urn. And my brothers go, "Hey, can we keep that box and put our shiny shit in it?" And Mom's like, "Sure." And my grandfather is spread in Lake Champlain.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It was his favorite place. And so my mom and my uncles, both of them, went out on my uncle's boat, and they each spread some of my grandfather's ashes in the lake. Very somber moment. They were all very close to him, and they're boating back. And Mom starts, like, cry laughing.
Oh, God.
And both my uncles are like, Annette, you cool? Like, I know we just spread Dad, but, like, what are you... And Mom goes, don't you remember? Dad couldn't swim.
Jesus.
Yeah.
See, I wish I had thought of shit like that when my dad died. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
It's just like...
The most we did was we had a cookout. It was a fun cookout, though.
I remember
being able to see a lot of my family.
the big VA party that I went to. Yeah.
Yeah, because he literally said, I don't want to wake. If you want to have a private ceremony for a funeral, that's fine. But you're having a cookout in my honor. Uh-huh. And we all went, and it was a fucking blast.
We had lightsaber fights, and...
Broke my ex's... One of the LEDs in my ex's lightsaber.
You broke... Then I fixed it, and then...
And then it just... Actually, it never was quite the same again.
It never was quite the same.
Every time she would ignite it just to, like, fuck about with it, it would start purple, then it would slowly glow to a light pink, and then it would just shift to red.
I'll be honest, I thought that was kind of cool.
I know, right? And then, like, right about a few months before we broke up, she just decided to fiddle with it again, and the thing just went straight to red, like, right away. Like, the last LED died, and it just went... Psst.
Hell yeah.
Like, no, that was a total blast. And that's the kind of thing I want for my funeral someday. Is like, you know what? Fine. You want to have, like, small ceremony to, like, bury my ashes somewhere? You know what? Fine. That's fine. I don't care. I'm gonna be dead by that point.
I swear to God, if...
I will haunt the motherfuckers who decide not to have fun at my funeral cookout.
I swear to God, if I, for some reason, outlive you, and we're at your funeral, I'm going to say, see you in space, cowboy.
Fuck. No, just put that on my tombstone. Just
see you in space, cowboy?
See you, space cowboy. Like, I'll go with that. That'll be fine. But, like, oh, you know what? I'm going to make it even better. Instead of just a regular cookout, it has to be a luau.
Oh.
They have to come in Hawaiian shirts. Somebody has to learn fire spinning. And I want people to eat a fucking suckling pig.
I'm trying to remember the name of the comedian. He's British. And he said, I got a letter from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And there was a kid who loved my comedy and he wanted to meet me. And so I agreed to meet him. And he said, I want you to come to my funeral.
Oh, no.
And this kid's like 14. Cancer.
Fuck.
Knows he's going to die. And he says, I want you to come to my funeral. And
right.
He goes, I would be honored to come to your funeral. And he goes, there's a catch, though.
Oh, no.
And he goes, what is it? He says, I want you to wear a giant dick costume to my funeral. He goes, everybody's dressing up. I'm planning my own funeral, which is such a fucked up thing for a kid to say. He's like, I'm planning my own funeral. And he goes, and everybody's showing up as dicks? And he goes, oh, no, that's just you. My father is dressing up as the Grim Reaper. Nice. And anytime somebody coughs, he lifts up his scythe and he, like, points at him.
See, that's the thing. You gotta have fun with your funeral.
Yeah.
You gotta have a funeral.
And he goes, and the comedian's like, I'll do it, but I want you to write me a letter proving that you told me to do it, because what if that's the ultimate prank? What if
that you just shows up in the dick
What if I
costume?
show up in a church, everyone's dressed in black, the door creaks open, and I'm just in a giant dick costume?
There's just a big dick in the doorway.
Yeah, and then it turns out that the kid actually went into remission. He's not...
Oh.
He no longer has cancer. He's actually thriving.
But now he's indebted.
Because
if that kid dies before the comedian does, he still has to do it.
Well, the comedian, he tells him, he's like, he went into remission, he's no longer dying, and he says, and here he is, and he brings the kid out on stage, and the kid's wearing a dick.
Oh, you know what? See, I have to plan it so that way I die somewhere close to October. Because now what I really want is a big old Halloween party where everyone comes in costume.
You're not dying on my birthday.
No, not on
Eric.
your birthday. Not on your birthday.
Well, that would ruin my birthday if you died a week before it.
Well, maybe not a week. Maybe I'll die in like early October. I don't know.
That doesn't help.
They'll be fine. But like everybody has to come in a costume even if they don't want to. Like costumes are mandatory at my fucking funeral party.
Costumes are going to be mandatory at my wedding.
Like, yeah, Greg, or not Greg, fucking, you're Greg. One of my plans with my ex was that we were going to get married in October.
A few days before my birthday, you told me.
Somewhere around there, yeah. And, like, I still have the plan someday that when I get married, you're still going to be my best man. Like, yes. Right away.
And I cherish that role. Because
Dalton is a certified minister.
Oh my god.
He's going to be my minister because it's going to be cheap. Yeah. And also, he's my friend. So, like, twofer.
I now pronounce you squatting goals.
But yeah, like, I want it to be, like, set pretty close to Halloween style where we're not overshadowing your birthday. But, like, at the same time, I'm gonna have it be, like, if I can manage to get a venue right and the stars align that nature doesn't fuck it over, it's gonna be outdoor.
Okay.
So that way we can witness the beautiful autumn sky and the environment and all that shit. Hey, buddy, what are you doing? You like that bag?
Eric's cat's digging around in the plastic bag.
He loves plastic bags. But, yeah, it's going to be an outdoor wedding. My mom, I'm going to have to discuss it with my future fiance. But, I don't want a wedding cake. I want pie tiers.
Oh my god.
I want wedding pies, and I'll have my mom make them because at least then she can eat something. But the rest of the wedding is going to be a potluck.
Okay.
So people can bring whatever the fuck they want. And we'll, separate gluten-free stuff off to the side and, like, vegan options and shit, because, like, my aunt's vegan. And, like, all that shit. But, like, every table is going to have a specific color coding. Like, there's going to be, like, very autumny looking tables with, like, red, gold, and orange, like, covers. But then there's also going to be black and purple ones. Ooh. Those black and purple ones are going to have centerpieces in the middle to decorate it to look like Halloween decorations.
Nice. With
a picture of a famous horror monster or character on the table.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm going to have one for all the classic movie monsters. I'm going to have one for Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, but also, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, the Predator, a Xenomorph. Like, I'm going to have all of those, like, in picture frames on those tables. And people had better fucking like it. Because, like, the ceremony, I'll have be, like, nice dress casual. Like, not super casual, like jeans and a t-shirt. Yeah. But, like, button down, nice pair of slacks. I don't care if you wear, like, Vans or Chucks as long as you're not wearing, like, Skechers.
Yeah.
Like, don't wear sneakers.
No.
And, like, just dress like you're going to church, essentially.
Horror church.
But the reception, I'll give people the option to get changed into costumes if they want. Because knowing my family and probably my future wife's family, like, there's probably going to be a bunch of kids in that area. Because, like, I have... They're not... Two of them technically aren't related to me biologically, but, like, there's my first biological sister and her boyfriend, if they get married someday and have a kid, like, that's one. My baby sister, by that point, is probably going to be, like, somewhere between 3 and 5. So, like, why wouldn't she dress up in a costume? Yeah. That'd be great. I have another little sister who, by that point, would be a teenager. So, like, it's optional for her. I have a little brother who would be, like, almost 10.
Yeah.
So, if they all want to dress up, fine, great, awesome. Like, I'll go for it. But I'm going to have, like, a little area reserved for the kids to do, like, fun little Halloween activities. Bobbing for apples and shit like that. Like, it would just be a nice, big, fun fall wedding.
Yeah.
That everyone can enjoy. And I kind of want to do a set plan with my future wife to do a, like, couple's costume of some kind. and I have a couple ideas that I would want to bounce off of that.
Mm.
Most of them are comic book related.
Of course.
So it all depends on what my wife looks like. Because
Yeah.
if she's a redhead, well, I got some ideas.
Gee, I wonder who she's gonna be.
Well, look. If my future wife happens to be a redhead, they better be prepared to go into that wedding reception dressed as fucking like MJ or Jean Grey or something. Because I'll be damned if I'm not going to take advantage of that. Huh. Fucking these podcasts get longer every time we record them.
I know, we've gone from an hour and a half to 3 1/4. Fuck.
Fucking hell. It's 7:30. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Let's fucking end this. Oh my god.
I know, people are like, shut up, stop talking.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, right. Comic book recommendation. Okay, so I still have the title of this podcast on my fucking mind. So,
Comics and Collars?
Comics and Collars. So, I am gonna recommend...
Stripperella.
No, I'm gonna recommend Sunstone. Also by Stefan Sejic.
Okay.
Who I recommended last week, who wrote Harleen for DC. Sunstone was a project that he decided to do after he finished Witchblade for Image and Top Cow. Funnily enough, Sunstone's also published by Image and Top Cow. And it's just, like, the first 5 volumes are a love story between these 2 women named Lisa and Allie. And the whole thing is told from Lisa's perspective about how these 2 met through their mutual love of BDSM. And they start the relationship very simply as friends who partake in a BDSM relationship.
Yeah.
And it eventually develops into more complicated feelings, and they end up getting into a relationship near the end. It implodes, they get back together, and then the final, like, one of the final images of the 5th volume, it's still going, but, like, one of the final images of the 5th volume is this beautiful splash page of Allie and Lisa's wedding. And it's fucking beautiful. The art is gorgeous as always, because Stefan is an amazing artist, and I love his work. But it's really funny. It's sexy. Like he does a really good job drawing porn.
Hell yeah!
Like it's really good, and it's something I highly recommend. There's 6 volumes right now. I'm pretty sure he's still working on a 7th, and like I said, you can find it pretty much anywhere. So, like, if you like your comics physical, get it on Amazon, or maybe check out your local comic shop. Maybe it's there, which would be surprising, but it might be there. And, you know, Amazon always has it for cheap. I think I got every volume for, like, $6 to $8 each. So, it doesn't take a serious dent in your wallet. And it's just really, really good. And it's kind of what helped spur me to write my romance novel. So, yeah, I heavily recommend reading Sunstone. And with that, we're going to sign off because, holy shit.
All right.
Got any final words?
Yeah. That's how you talk about comics and porn and BDSM and relationship troubles in a mere 3 1/4 hours.
It always comes back to relationship issues.
It always does. It's almost like it's a problem. This has been Good Guy Greg and Eric the Law Warden.
Oh, right. Yep, our nicknames.
That's right. Signing off on Pop Talk. Thanks for joining us again. See you next week.